Welcome
Welcome
to Timeline Talks.
to the Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars, Morph action figure collector, Kapla, It's Stars and Garden. Also featuring Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, the man with the chatter, he doesn't have a bladder. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Timelines Talks, the premium exclusive #1 show for all things Star Trek Timelines. I am your host, Captain Idol, joined by my two stalwart compatriots, Automaton 2000 and Stars and Garters, and joining us this week, the long-elated, the long-wanted Booter from the Suncoast Fleet. Welcome, Booter. You finally made it to the show after many months of us putting it off. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here with you guys today.
Fantastic. We got an
all right, and that concludes Booter's appearance on Timelines Talks.
He's had his appearance. It's time to go. No. We got a full pack show for you this week. We will be going through event winners as well. We'll be talking about the Mega as a whole, the latest crew, the Orion Collection, and Stars. You'll have another batch of Timelines Talks originals. First off, my apologies, because I've been very busy and I didn't have time to get show title voting up. So my apologies. So instead, we've gone for one of Booter's suggestions. So sadly, I will buy a random sub this week, so someone does still benefit. So instead of spinning the wheel this week, we will just get a random from the community. So my apologies, I'll try and get that done for next time. Speaking of next time, next week we will not have a show because I'm on holiday. How selfish of me. There will be a 2-week break between Timelines Talks, and I apologise. So, yeah, next week there will be no show, nothing on next week, but the week after we'll be coming back with Timelines Talks. And now here is my moment to say thank you, Cranky, for subscribing. Timing on that, man. Look at that. I like how I just went red there.
It didn't happen when Otto was talking for once.
It didn't happen.
Actually, it happened pre-stream. Siete, thanks for subbing.
Yes, thank you very much, Siete. We have other shows. If you haven't actually watched any of our other stuff that we do, we spend quite a bit of time. We've just started a new set of a new show called Star Trek Trek.
Red alarm!
Star Trek Trek, where we're going through all the episodes of Star Trek and reviewing them. We've started with all the pilots to be a little bit different. We've just wrapped up the Caretaker, which we had some very divisive opinions about, which is quite interesting. And also now me and Stars have just started to go through Star Trek Elite Force as well. So that's on our one of our other ones. So if you haven't checked those out on YouTube, please go and check them out.
I was watching that Caretaker episode and throwing popcorn at the computer screen. I had so many things to say, but I was yelling into the void, so I'll have to make the next one.
We were nearly on Chakotay's side for once, except he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't do anything. The whole thing. By the way, guys,
We were actually sitting there demanding more Chakotay, and you weren't there. And it's like, that's the only time you would have ever have had us, that's true.
So chat.
I think your giveaway bot is broken.
Yeah, it is. It is completely broken. I haven't enabled it, so sucks to be you guys. Very quick announcement. I will get someone to sub this week. I promise. I do it every time. It's quick announcement. Spoiler warning this week. There are a few things. If you have not watched Picard season 2, Lower Decks, or watched Discovery season 4, or I think we're talking about Strange New Worlds things this week. Yes, we are.
Yeah,
if you have not seen those, maybe we'll send a trigger warning to say close your ears for 10 minutes or skip away, or maybe watch the replay. But if you haven't caught up, we will be talking about some very without our choice. Usually we try to skirt around it. Kind of haven't got a choice this week, so we will be going over some things.
Like full disclosure, I was going to make more Timelines originals, and then I was like, well, I want to put a good amount of space in between the airing of new series before I dare even put any of those cards in there. And then here's WRG, here's end of season spoilers for Picard. Here's halfway through Strange New Worlds, like one of the first cards they dropped was a big episode 9 spoiler, one of the biggest ones in the entire season. It's like they really don't give a crap, so we're trying our best to dance around it, but there's only so much we can do.
Nothing will top last year when they released Totally Dead. Just kidding, Picard, which, they probably should have stayed away from that one, but
it was really bold of them to release the Tombstone art, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice shading on that.
Yeah, just said James R. Kirk for some reason. Boozer, what's go, we need to stop talking about us so much. What is your favorite Star Trek? What is the best Star Trek that you can think of?
Oh, my favorite is Deep Space Nine.
Oh, good man.
It wasn't when it originally aired, but I've come to like it more as I've gotten older.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's definitely my favorite series. I think Cisco's got like a very interesting character to me. He's tries to be the good dad, but he's also like the war hero badass.
War criminal, I was going to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. He's just very, very interesting. So, my second favorite is probably Enterprise.
Ooh.
Can you sing all the lyrics to the DS9 song?
Definitely not.
Oh. Fake fan.
I'm just trying to think what they.
What is the DS9 song? Is it just?
There's no lyrics in it.
Cork single.
The theme song. I was wondering what song you're talking about. Like the theme song doesn't have any.
Yeah.
With the prophets.
No, I think Deep Space Nine they have a lot of the side characters actually get some screen time and stuff to do. It's not all Federation. It has a little bit of everything. So I think I like that too.
Yes, Walt,
like Garrick's one of my favorites.
What is the shirt? I also have a Star Trek shirt. So what's yours say?
Yes. Okay. So, I'll back up a little bit. Official Enterprise crew member. If found, please return shirt to the 1701 original Enterprise.
Love it.
They don't want the person back. They just want their shirt back.
Fantastic.
I think the implication is the rest of you is missing.
Exactly. Or as a whole, or whatever.
Just a pile of dust on the floor somewhere.
Yes. The original red shirt.
Fantastic. Okay.
I've actually been watching all of them kind of the last year or two. Back to back from TNG through Enterprise, all the new stuff that's come out, because my girlfriend she had watched the original series with her dad, so we didn't start there. We started with Next Gen, and we've kind of been catching up. So we're basically all caught up now, except for we haven't started Lower Deck Season 3 yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In for a treat on that one. Shall we do some event winners? So, previous 2 weeks worth of event winners. The week before last, congratulations to KM's very own Rowden, who won himself a 5/5 Gathoriel Labin, Siete number 6, Sapco number 9, Ignama number 10, Gandoza number 11, James T. Kirk number 12, Blue Angel 17, No Name, Namer, host of the Big Book number 18, This Cisco, the Cream King 21, Pauhura 22, Tybeck 26, Alias 42, Chris Dobal at number 50. And for last week, you know what? I think we don't need to announce everyone. Do you, Stars? Do we need to announce every winner?
I think that the winner of that, he's such a humble individual. He has no need for honor or glory or valor. He's just...
We have No Name Namer in third place. That's very
true.
notable.
Well, okay, no, we'll do this properly.
True.
Number 1 is our very own host here, Automaton 2000, skirmish winner extraordinaire, who... how many skirmish wins is this now?
10.
10. You have
it's got to be getting close to 10. Yeah.
Yes, Namer at number 3, Blue Angel number 8, Aliens 12, Evans of Wales 28, Pinkskin 32, Pauhura 34, Phaser 44, This Cisco 45. All our close friends and contributors. Yeah, Auto, go on. Like every time you do a skirmish, you always say, "This is the last one I'm going to do." I don't have the stamina for it. And here we are again, winning yourself a breakthrough Booker.
Yeah, no, I had the free time, so I said, let's go for it. And I realized after about the first day I'd made it, my calculations weren't matching up with my Chronoton return. So if someone had pushed me, it might have gotten a little bit ugly, but thankfully I scared them off early. So yeah, I know. I've come on here before. I'm like, don't ever try to win an event unless you're sure you have enough stuff. You don't want to be stuck in buying stuff from the store and stuff. So I broke my own rule, but luckily I didn't have to spend for this one. So
a couple of quick shout outs. Walt says, shout out for Low Cost Monkey, please. I think he's just started playing again. And Twitcher's Jay says, shout out to Frank in 20,109th place. Good on you, Frank. I think
Monkey
you guys
finished 13,687th. You know what? That's pretty respectable.
Yeah, well done. Yeah. Right.
So I am not the only skirmish winner in
not,
this
no.
chat right now. And I think, Booter, you are long overdue for your victory lap. So why don't you talk to us about your event experiences?
Yeah, so I've won 2 so far. And I've come in second, I think, twice, and third maybe one other time. So I've definitely been close, but it took me a long time to get over the hump finally. I had to pick one that you weren't going hard on. That was a criteria.
That's the best strategy, honestly.
That's my best. If you want a good skirmish tip, that's the #1 tip. Check if Otto is playing that weekend for rank 1. If the answer is yes, choose another time. No, I mean, I've talked to you about it, Otto, some. It's basically just making sure you have time and that you have enough resources banked to go the whole way. The skirmish hybrid one that I won was a little bit different. Like we talked about a little pre-stream, they don't do very many of them. I think it was a faction skirmish was second, and so I did what I usually do if I'm pushing a skirmish or a faction. I set up my shuttles, planned everything out, had all the crew unfrozen, made a little spreadsheet, kind of had it all set up ready to go, did bonus shuttles, did the whole bit, because I was like, I want to be at least close to the front, not starting behind on the skirmish piece, and then just having enough time set aside to be able to go for like a day and a half, basically, with minimal sleep to just sit there and push Auto.
So what's your preferred TV show or movie binge of choice while you're tapping?
Usually Star Trek, but not always. I've sometimes I'll just pick up movies just on Netflix. I'll get like into a genre. One time I've done like horror, or I've done sometimes sci-fi. It varies. What do you? I know you're a Bond guy, right? Is that your?
Oh, your choice.
Yeah, well, for a while, Stars and I had a tradition where every single skirmish, like no matter what rank we were going for, we'd sit down and watch a Bond together, and we got to get back to that. But this weekend I did Knight Rider, I think like 30 episodes, and I was doing the Leo DiCaprio point at the screen every time there was a Star Trek alum that came on, so you had like Ducat and Lieutenant Savick.
I did see that posted in here.
So Redemption in chat, who is a new player, saw him posting for Behold stuff on Discord, said I came in 621st, even though I've only been playing for 3 weeks.
Really good.
That's very impressive.
Pretty good.
61.
So one thing that helps out with that, people are asking for more event tips. Even if you don't play a lot during a skirmish, if you add warp those 24 chronoton missions, you get a lot of intel from that. And if you go back and run that, you can get 500, 1,000 chronotons for free over the course of an event if you add warp a bunch of, or watch a bunch of ads. So especially if you're new, that can be a big help, and you don't have to worry about your voyages crashing or whatever else.
And
then you go.
Awesome.
Just like
I'd be remiss.
Actual advice. Actual tips.
I know that.
I'd be remiss to not point out. Cranky noted in chat. I see that the Super Squad made the difference in my faction skirmish win.
Yeah, we keep getting Suncoast people on. What is with that? I think you're like the
We're
third player from
infiltrating.
Suncoast we've had on. There's definitely favoritism going on here. We need to shift the balance. So what was? You go on.
To be fair, if you count Pahura's cats, 80% of our viewers are from Suncoast. So
mostly putting people to sleep. Yeah. Boo, what were the events you won? Do you remember? Do you remember what you went for?
I looked them up when we were talking. So, Boogeyman and A Measure of Valor.
Who were they for?
Were the two that I won. So it was Racquetball O'Brien was the first one,
good one.
and the Elder, Vanilla Elder, the recent.
Oh, even better.
Wow, yeah, totally good
which
one.
was
Yes.
I have 2 of them.
That's fantastic.
Choice.
I duped that one. Yeah.
Very good.
But I don't usually dupe crew, but I did dupe that one.
You should do a whole bridge crew of them just for the memories of of bloodshot eyes and getting no sleep.
I don't even know what my bridge crew is right now, honestly. I'm going to have to look.
You mean you don't, like, rigorously just change it over so it's all matching themes and ships? What?
Well, no, I know what it is now. I have the fusion crew, or the ones that I have right now. But I haven't messed with it since I downgraded to the 3-seater Enterprise for the objective event. I haven't changed it since then. Yeah.
You're not like Widebrim, who just has 4 1001s on his bridge.
No,
bridge, sorry.
I don't even have one of those completed yet.
You should.
You're playing the game correctly then.
Everyone needs 1001 of them. So, and that's my bad joke for the evening.
Oh
Okay, let's
my
talk
God.
about some crew. Let's move on. And my stream deck has broken tonight.
You know how you were getting Suncoast to infiltrate? Can that go faster so we can replace the host?
We'll work on it, Stars.
You'd be nowhere without
Actually, while you guys were drunk in London, who was it that took over the stream? Was it Monkey or Cranky?
Oh yeah,
or...
no, Monkey took my took the tablet. Monkey take the tablet.
Monkey.
Oh yeah, Monkey's got like the constitution of a Klingon. He's ridiculous.
When does Mrs. Idle come on? You missed your chance. Oh yeah, by the way, if you've not seen our last chill stream, the last 30 minutes is my wife being very drunk and hijacking the stream and just talking crap about me. So if you were like that, go watch that.
And then out of nowhere, Idle shows up with a friggin' accordion and just starts playing behind her.
She was right. He didn't like anyone else being the star of the show.
This is my show. She was drinking my beer as well. I opened a beer. She went, "Oh, thanks, I'll have that." I was like, They subsequently went and laid in bed and went, "Oh God, what have I done?" Anyway, Captain
So a normal
Vaso.
stream for us.
Captain Vaso Lagalia is the crew you can win this week in the upcoming event. Dip Command Psi, Legendary Crew, Voyage Rank 93, Rongovian from the Strange New Worlds episode, which was actually quite a good one. Well, no, they're all absolutely fantastic, but this was a particularly good character in the show, pretty good twist on the diplomatic formula. Do we all talk about the show or the card first?
What's the
Two wrong Govians don't make a right Govian.
Oh, there you go. There's the show title. If we'd ever got it, you could have had that.
During negotiations for a potential alliance, Captain Vaso left the Federation delegates baffled by his Rongovian radical empathy. This is also taken from Memory Alpha, but
Fantastic.
Oh.
We're back to that again.
this was. Let's talk about the episode before the card first, because this was everyone's favorite Spock amok.
Yeah.
But hidden, in the comedy of errors type thing, you had a really neat idea with spoilers, obviously, with Pike, figuring out that these people attack diplomacy different than everyone else, and when he figured it out, April's going, "What are you doing? Why are you being rude to them?" But Pike had figured out the shtick by then, so.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's also refreshing to see an alien species where their shtick is diplomacy, because that's always the human / Starfleet style / like Federation way of doing things. It's always like, with Klingons or Romans, it's always military force. With the Cardassians, it's subterfuge. And it's like, no, they just do diplomacy like us. It's like, oh, someone who can actually match us on that level, and that's always a fun thing when you have like someone who is equal and opposite to you and how you interact in that way and the different approaches to it, because. Let's be real, the Federation thing wouldn't attack it quite that strongly, but it was good fun. I really enjoyed it, and there's a very classic Trek feel, not just to the character, but also to there's something about the actor. I was like looking at him, I was like, have you been in Trek before? And he hasn't been, but it's just like there's something about.
Yeah. I thought it was Armin Shimmerman. When he first came on
feeling.
screen, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, they've got Armin Shimmerman back. I thought they put him in there, but no, he was sufficiently
It had a
different.
bit of that vibe. Maybe it was
Yeah.
the teeth. The
could have
very,
been.
but
What's the teeth?
it's the teeth. But yeah, no, it's like, and the art for him is good as well. So they capture the essence of the character, I suppose. But
I've always loved those moments in Trek where the humans try out the radical empathy. So like when Shadich Picard says you may test that assumption of your like when you deal with the Klingons, you got to be tough. When you're dealing with the Romulans, you got to be a little duplicitous. So I love when the Federation busts that out.
How about you? You've watched Strange New Worlds, haven't you, Booter?
I've watched. I'm caught up on all of the Strange New World stuff. I like the episodes. I think it's really just in general on the show. I do really like it. Obviously, time will tell going forward if they can maintain the quality that they've pumped out so far. So I always wait till the end of a series before I kind of slot it in where I want to rank it. But yeah, no, I think he was an interesting character. The whole stuff with Spock in that episode was kind of fun. They're just like obviously having a little fun with it, I think, in Strange New Worlds in general. Which is different than very serious emotional discovery every week, you know?
The next question is, are you going to go for him in the event? Oh, resounding silences all around. There's just a...
who is that directed to?
Anyone that wants to pipe up. Okay, look, he's got two collections. Two quite difficult collections now. Communicate and Diplomat. That's always going to be a bonus in anyone's book. Maybe worth getting 2 over 5 so you can put a few stars on. Maybe. That's a stretch.
So, Stars is going to handle the segue here because right under Vaso in the show notes, it says, "This mega sucks." And part of the reason why is because this is a reprint of a reprint of a reprint. Take it away, Stars.
Reprint of a reprint of a reprint is just like, it's not even diminishing returns at this point. It's like the point where you go up to an ATM, you put your thing, and it's like, oh, I'm at minus, like, you know, however much. It's like, just stop it. Stop printing cards that have nothing to do with shit. Like, you have 60 years of Star Trek to do, and I know that you have like a mandate from CBS licensing, right, where you have to market the new shows. I get that, right? I get that that's part of the thing because you've got a representative from Picard, Discovery, Lower Deck, all 4 of them. The only one that's not here is Prodigy, and that's because that isn't part of this game license, right? Fine, I get it. But your representatives for diplomacy are Jurati, which we'll get into later, Jen the Andorian, Pike, who should be a diplomat but isn't, Booker, who should be a diplomat but isn't, and then, like, what, 2 or 3 actual diplomats. It's a show about fucking diplomacy, and you can't, like, you'll staple resourceful onto whatever little turd that you want to throw out into a 6-pack as a purple, but you can't give diplomat to Pike, who is literally about to reunify a civilization, who is literally throwing out proverbs and saying, like, hey, you know, nuclear diplomacy, it's not quite the thing you think it is. Maybe we can think about this a little bit harder. And it's like, nope, not a diplomat. Inspiring, though, we'll do that. We'll give you that little thing so it's not a complete waste of space. Maybe it's because I've been doing the originals crew, right? And I've been like experimenting with doing my own megas, right? But thematic consistency is actually relatively easy when you have so much material to draw off of. And that's not even getting into the fact that if you look at the rewards for next week, we don't even, like, Captain Freeman was a Super Air reward, like 2 months ago.
You guys want some popcorn?
She was a super rare that was new 2 months ago. That's not... Do you remember when people were annoyed that High Roller Cisco was in a paid campaign 6 months after release? When people were annoyed about Lieutenant Ogawa hitting the campaign 5 months after release? But, like, this is 2 months. Can't you wait to recycle? I know it's the fad right now, but there's fucking 800 episodes of this franchise about diplomacy. Just pick someone else. Did you not have anyone else in the pipeline that you could justify it on? No one. Just, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. This is one of the most incoherent, shat out, well, I guess these cards have a theme. What would they think of each other? Megas I've seen in a while. And that's saying a lot. Like, that look, guess what? Just, it's the easiest theme. The writer, I feel bad for the writer because it's like, here's your pieces to play with. You have the Trojan Keeper, Fallow, and the Dupla. Write a story that binds these 3. And
Stars, we need a blood pressure check. Oh, sorry, did I usurp you there?
From a statistical point of view, so his voyage power is like, okay, but he has 2 antimatter seats, and the crew that bests him in that particular skill order in both of them is Dupler Emissary. So it's like they just gave away a free 4/5, and then they give you a slightly worse version in the event, and we're supposed to go for him? I don't know. This is also the 5th mega out of the last 7. where the recurring has been dip command something. So they need to break that up a little bit better.
I'm kind of getting sick of just seeing, dip command anywhere in a skill set. If I see it and it's not the tertiary, I'm just like, bored already.
Does seem like they're recycling them over and over again.
Maybe
so,
they just think
Booter,
everyone's
you've been
a dip
very
skill. You know,
a dip something. Yeah, Booter, you've been a very particular discerning in your event win crew. Are these the kind of crew who titillate you when you see them?
No. Not at all. I look for collection at this point with my roster. I look for collection value, and I look for raw power in specific skill sets. That's pretty much what I'm looking at.
And non-deductible.
And this does neither. How many of these dip command Psy crew have we gotten in the last 6 months?
Like, let's look at it from the flip side. Like, let's talk about someone like Redemption in chat, brand new player. Looking at this crew, if they were to sort of participate and get another 621 rank, this would be a great card for them, but they wouldn't last the test of time.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
No, I'm actually going to call you out, Idle. No,
Okay.
it wouldn't. I'm going to call you out here.
No, go for it, please.
Are you really telling new players that they should be spending hard-won resources in the early game to chase down Voyage Rank 93 Dip Command Psi when 5 of the last 7 Mega Crew you've gotten 4 stars for free for better
Red
power?
alarm! Red alarm! Red alarm!
The smoke is just evaporating off his head.
Well, when you put it like that, maybe I am.
Because it's like, here's the thing,
No,
like,
right.
we had to put ourselves in the perspective of new players, right? And it's like, yeah, it's one thing for me or Idle or Auto or Booted to go for a win, because we have, like, 60, 70, 80,000 crons. We have inventories that are stacked up to the gills. We have 50 ships that are 5 out of max 10 out of 10. We have, like, multiple variants of every big event crew. And it's like, yeah, I can fuck around and get 2 copies this week. I don't know. But, like, for a new player, even getting 1,500, like, we have a good friend, Shypon, who's, like, a completely free-to-play player. And, like, he regularly has to struggle to get 1,500 if it's a particularly desirable card. And the idea that I should, like, why would you... Like, I don't even really know who this card is for, right? Because he's not for new players, because your return on investment is going to be awful. Like, as you mentioned, Dupla covers all of these bases and does them better and is better power and will age better. And is, I'm pretty sure, going to be, like, incredibly easy to retrieve. I think because Dupla is a unique trait, I'm pretty sure. So you'll be able to retrieve him. Trait-wise, he's lame. He's one racial trait, which is good for retrieval. Ambassador, and Communicator and Diplomat, 2 collections which are handed out like candy if you're in the middle of a particularly mega. And Empath, which might get a collection. So max 3, maybe 4 collections. That's not actually that many in this day and age. Voyage Power, he's going to be aged out of your roster within 6 months a year. He's not gauntlet capable. He doesn't have ship ability that you care about. All he has is good art. And 2 notches on collections, which are continually being added to with new 4-star crew. Hell, I think we've had a few, like, 2 and 3-star crews that have added to more collection notches than Captain Legalia would. Like, this is a cool character with great art that someone has labored over, and he's just a nothing on your roster. He's going to sit there at 1, maybe 2 stars, or, if you go for a win, then yeah, you get him finished, and then you can just finish him. But, like, even if you were to finish him, would you really use him? Would you? Like, Dupla is right there. How many of these cards do you need?
So a point from chat, when Rongovian pops up in Fleet Boss battles, where are you going to turn to, stars? Where is your god then? You have to have this Rongovian.
I'll wait for one of my other unfortunate fleet members who got him in a behold to do it, and I'll be like, well, sucks to be you. Thanks for taking the hit for me, buddy.
All right, here's a thought, and I probably should have pulled this before I started talking. Would you guys like it if they just swapped Vaso with Jen, the Andorian, in terms of rarity? Then you don't have one more dip command something. No. Name a good gold Andorian. I'll wait.
Rin.
Okay, I
Wow,
I gotta go, guys. I gotta
was
I
good.
think my allotted time has expired, gentlemen. Next topic.
Next up, moving slowly from topic.
Okay, but you get my
Oh,
point,
thank
right?
you.
One six-pack Andorian that's
Yeah,
still not in the
yeah.
portal. That's like all you have to hang your hat on. So,
Wow, look
would
at
you
him.
rather they have
Look at
swapped
him
their
try.
rarities?
In terms of appropriateness to a diplomat mega, no. And in terms of like
But
prominence for
she's
character,
already in the diplomat mega, right?
She is, yeah.
well, yeah, but it's like she's also not a diplomat, which I also have problems with. Like, I don't see
Well,
why
neither
she's
was
in this mega.
Booker last week, and he was
Yes,
the gold.
and that was a mistake.
Let's
I'm not
move on to
saying
Jen,
that every
since we're here.
card in your mega needs to have the trait, but you should at least make the effort. Even if it's not going to be a character that has a diplomat trait, because I get it, you can't always like Frankenstein it so that it works. Maybe pick a character who's known for diplomacy rather than a character who spends the first 2 seasons in her show being like aggressive and having this adversarial relationship with Mariner until eventually cools off and becomes something more. Like, it's just an odd pick. I don't quite get it. It feels like they had to shill Lower Decks crew and they just picked one that they had already.
Here's why I like Jen Shreyan as a 4-star. Is I need one more crew to complete the Andorian collection. That's why I like Jen Shreyan.
Right.
That's it. That's the only reason. She's a 4-star. She's one easy site. I'm done.
All
But
right,
yes,
Booter, I'm going to put you on this. I'll put you on the spot, Booter. Who is a legendary diplomat in the whole Star Trek ethos, or someone that at least was an adversarial that you would like to see slotted into this mega? Someone that you, just from a character standpoint, you would want to acquire.
You
I
did
know
put
they
me
do
on
it
the
to me
spot.
all the time. They're like, "Oh no, give me an answer." I'm like, "What?"
What about like a feder not? I guess they kind of already have him, like a COP founder archer, but because there aren't very many good archers. I feel like an older archer that could maybe be
Originals,
something that
that'd be
they
cool.
could have. Yeah.
like, why haven't
No,
we
you know
got
what you could do?
Come on.
You could do christening of the Enterprise Archer, because canonically, if you look at his bio in A Mirror Darkly, he died the day after the NCC 1701 was like christened and launched from
Okay.
space dock. He died the day after, so just do like Archer the day of the christening of the Enterprise, and he's got. And you could even do a little reference to Generations where he's holding like a champagne bottle like they throw at the Enterprise B. Like, there's so much potential for a cool diplomat card that we just came up with off the cuff. And it's like, yeah, I know you'd have to be a lot of work for the artist. Like, doing the brief would be hard, but like, it's cool. That's a cool card. I'd compete for that card, and I don't even like Archer.
Day before he died horribly, Archer.
He's dead at the ripe old age of 150. What a loser! How awful!
What about like crew like Nora Sati or like Philippa Loire or people that were in those diplomatic situations, or even judges are probably a bad example, especially Nora Sati, but still was in that position of being a diplomat or a better version of Reva, maybe. They're the cards you want in a diplomat collection. That sort
His
of
chorus with his chorus, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't have that.
The chorus would be
Yeah.
a cool one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or even just like easy picks like Caitlin Dar from like fucking Final Frontier. Like, I can pluck these. Like, there's so many examples in Star Trek of good diplomats that have done various. How many Picards would qualify alone?
Right.
Kirk as Janice
you
Lester.
could stuff it with. Yeah.
In the
Now it's
courtroom
your
scene,
turn to stop
technically a
talking.
diplomat. Shatner was being very diplomatic when he was trying to play a woman.
Not even.
All right. Speaking of inspiring female leads that should have been in this show, shall we move on to the Tuesday pack, which was last week's Tuesday pack, so sucks if you didn't get it. But new Tier 1 crew inspiring Captain Burnham. Voyage rank number 1. 4 collections. For some reason, she's an innovator. Who knows why? Only she can tell us. Guys, this card, we're back to another command side dip in this case. How do we feel about this one? Bearing in mind, we've had other such number 1 Voyagers such as...
Feels like it's
Archer and
2019
Porthos.
again.
Yes, yeah. We've gone back
Can
to
you
the
even
past.
name a good gold Andorian? I don't think so.
Give me the hammer.
There's no good ones out there. As captain of the Discovery, Burnham continues her work to reignite the Federation and discover incredible new worlds.
That's That's the promotional one, yeah.
When I'm done yammering again, put my foot in my mouth, I'm going to grab that image for you to throw up on the screen idle of Lieutenant Commander Spock and Burnham next to each other on the bridge crew, because it actually is a really sweet
it's cute. I like
photo.
it.
I think it works really well.
So yeah, how do we feel?
I did not dive into six packs for her. I did not.
No,
so I've done that before, and 50 in is just very frustrating, and it's happened to me twice, so I said, nope, not for that.
Redemption asks, how do we get Burnham? She was in a Tuesday pack, which is for people that aren't aware, every Tuesday they release a limited pack where you can try and pull and try and get this crew, and they won't be available outside of that pack until they're updated in the portal in about a year's time. So you unfortunately won't be getting her for about a year if you didn't already pull in the pack. But how do you guys feel on two fronts? Bearing in mind, yes, she's now Voyage rank number 1. She's the top best Voyager in the game. And, we love power creep. We don't mind it if it's in a Tuesday pack, but we are getting another command psi dip number 1 after Archer and Porthos, more command dip after all those Fence and Picards and everything, so it's kind of a double-edged sword at this rate. Oh yeah, that is nice, thank you. Yes, I will pop that up in a second.
Spock freebie. That was my thought. If I didn't have Spock, then I might have been more inclined to go.
So, here we go.
What she offers is certainly powerful, but it is not unique. Like, of all the top 20 Voyagers, they've really stocked up that top 20 recently.
Yeah,
I'd say of them, Vidala Elder, Agamus, Barge of the Dead Torres. Like, there's a few ones in there, and they are picks because they have good traits, they are unique, and because they have halfway decent skill sets that are not you want a unique offering, really. That's why you want to be chasing after a card, especially in a 6-pack, which can be deadly. I don't know if for those of you who haven't joined our Discord, do it, it's great. But you can also hear Frank extolling the woes of trying to deep Velasquez, because this was painful to hear about. 6-packs are not fun. They are a miserable place. Do not do them.
Do not do
them.
I have video evidence of both Auto and Stars doing 6-packs, spending a lot of dilithium and not getting what they wanted. So, it is a trap. Very much a trap.
Pull up in chat, folks. Let me know if you guys pulled on this particular 6-pack.
We got to watch SARS.
Yeah, multiple times. It's always a card you want.
So, Stars, you threw out a bunch of names so far this year. They've given us a lot of strong statistical event crew,
which we love.
So,
we love.
Yeah, I can't even complain that they put a really good one in a Tuesday pack, because we've had much worse runs of all good Tuesday crew.
It is,
you got to give them credit for that.
We like the power creep. The power creep's great. It's actually breathed in some new life into the events. After years of just crap. And I know I keep saying all the time, like Hernandez and Jamel and people like that, 2-skiller crap. And we're now getting, the last year or so has been a bigger uplift for new Voyagers. And the same, I'm not even upset now that they've put the good Voyager in the Tuesday pack. I think a year ago we complained oh yeah, they put good Voyagers in Tuesday packs. Oh gosh, of course they have. How could they do that? And now I'm just it's okay, because you don't need her. You don't need this skill set. You can get that anywhere else at roughly the equivalent power. And in a year's time, you retrieve her. It's no big deal. It's pretty meh. It's a good crew though. I like the card. I like the art. I'm a Burnham person. I like Burnham. So this would be one I would like to get at some point. Hopefully, if she's still relevant enough by the time I get her, and not Voyage rank number 28.
I somehow think she will be.
Yeah.
So, First Officer Burnham, who came out late 2017.
Oh, it was 2017, sorry.
Top Voyager for 2 years, I think. No, actually, Gary pipped her just barely, but a top Voyager, top 2 for 2 years, and then started to slide down after that. And she's still actually a good crew, good Voyager overall, gets events from time to time. She's only a 33% retrieval right now, because they keep printing these Burnhams that are xenoanthropology, resourceful, and they all have similar skills. So I do hate the innovator trait, because it doesn't fit at all.
I don't get that.
And if you can justify it, stand on your head, hold your breath, and justify it for me. But I think they just wanted to. They said, "Well, she's already resourceful. What else could we just throw on there to get people to pull packs?" And they picked a collection trait, and it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll help later, though.
Umbrage. Oh, man. I also take umbrage with the name. Because it feels like a very we're not going to acknowledge that normal Captain Burnham was a mistake. That we we wasted Captain Burnham on a completely mediocre command dip suck that no one remembers exists anymore. So we just had to staple a trait name in front of it.
Next one will be extra inspiring Captain Burnham. And
Aren't you inspired yet, Captain Burnham? Yes.
I can't believe it's not Captain Burnham.
Like it's nice. It's just a little bit nondescript because it is like this is promo art. Like this is same thing with Lieutenant Commander Ortegas, I believe, where it's like if you look, that is the exact same pose that they have on all the promo art for Strange New Worlds on posters and stuff like that. Where it's like it's a trade job, but the art is very nice. And I don't know, like I don't have it. Like you say, it's hard to find it in my heart to be angry about this. This is you get one. Don't do you don't do this every week, and it goes fine. Like everyone will still chase the 6-pack crew because that's what they're like. They will still go for the brand new purple or the brand new gold because it's someone they like or they need the collections or whatever. It's just like every now and then you're allowed to throw in a statistical bit of gold. You're allowed to do that.
We'll do like
you have my blessing.
Yeah, we'll do a whole show in a year's time, and someone will have like inspiring Captain Burnham 2 dollars. Like, yes, Burnham's the best. We love Burnham, isn't it good? Like this one, like, it's all in context, isn't it? If you're choosing between
she's the
best option, without a doubt. But if you're choosing
a lot easier to retrieve, right?
Sorry.
A lot easier to cite to retrieve rather.
With Innovator,
Xenanthropology displaced alone probably will get you down to 3, and then Innovator alone would do it.
Yeah. Very.
So we're a little bit picky about art on the show, but I'm with you, Stars. It's a trace, but it's like a good one. So if you're going to go that route, at least nail it. Booter McGavin, do you like this, or is it a little bit too...
No, I love the art. She's a good card. It's just digging into the 6-packs. I wasn't going to do it for it.
You made the right choice.
Yes.
We're proud of you.
For podcast listeners, did you open packs for Burnham? 47% say no. 33% say I tried, but I didn't get her. And only 20% of our super whaley viewers ended up with a totally extra inspiring Captain Burnham.
And how many packs did it take?
Speaking of 6-packs, did you see what Nifty wrote on it?
No, what was that?
Oh, what? Booter McGavin? Buddha!
No. When Otto runs for office, it'll be the 6-pack video evidence that does his campaign in, and not any of the other nonsense.
This is what this man will do with your public finances.
I mean, they're not wrong. So don't elect me, folks.
Talk to me. So, Auto, I think a couple of weeks back, may have let this slip, but there is a new collection in the game. The
Uhura!
It doesn't feature Pathfinder Uhura. This is Osiris standing next to an astronaut. How weird. This is the Orion collection, which has just debuted in the game, which is minor stat boosts and quite an interesting collection. Gentlemen, please talk about that while I make my apologies, and I'll be back shortly.
Now, Auto, when I heard that this collection had...
That's one of my favorite euphemisms. You just make my apologies. Okay. That's very British of you.
When this collection dropped, I could basically hear your erection from around the globe because you finally got to justify all those awful Behold choices where you took Orions over better crew. And I know you love collections that are incredibly hard to finish and require all, if not most of, the entire roster of crew available to finish. I know you like those because they give you something to shoot for, right?
Yeah, and I should have pulled this while you're talking.
I was vamping for you, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for those reasons, so I like the episode Bound just because it is like a point-for-point love letter for TOS. I'm not saying that it ages great or that you should show it to adolescent, kids.
Pre-aged.
Yeah, basically. But you know, it's cool, and it's got Saya Batten, who plays a few other roles in Star Trek, including Arena and Torzial.
Yals, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, no, it's Ben has said much in the past. They are trying to avoid another rerun of Resourceful Collection where everyone's in it, even though they're kind of ballooning that one on their own. But yeah, for this one, how many people now? Dinesh, Navar, Maris, Orion Slaver, that's their first collection. How many people are thinking, you know, if I want those stat boosts and I only need 5 crew to finish to get the next boost instead of 20 on like a Resourceful, maybe that's a little better proposition. It just makes you think about the game in a way that you don't normally, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and it's also kind of a value add to almost any Tendy that will come along, because guess what? Like, that's on par with, like, what would you say is more valuable, right? Investing in a Kirk that might get you a 2% increase on your next shuttle, you know, in a Kirk event, or investing in a Tendy that will be your next notch toward a stat boosting collection. Which one of those is going to have more of an impact on your roster? And that's actually kind of an interesting proposition. And like, considering that, you know, like, Tendies are already good cards because she's already had 2 Med-Eng cards, lots of collections, and this is another new one that's basically tailored just for her, because there's not a ton of other Orions that can be drawn on from the game. But like, this is a good win for her. Good for her.
Pull up in chat. Let us know what you think about the Orion collection. Buddha, what do you think?
Well, I was just pulling up on mine. I only have 3 of them in there, so I'm definitely behind you. I have Attendi, I have the Big Show, and I have Navar, are the 3 that I have.
Which, by the way, we need a campaign for, what's his name? Orion Slaver to get the athlete trait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's literally played by a wrestler.
Was it someone? General says, if Yelgren could be a musician, Orion Slaver could be an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandfather him in. No one will complain about that.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting. It's good to see him trying different stuff. Like you were saying, it makes some of those Orions that you have kind of more valuable. Otherwise, there's not really reason to get most of them.
Look, no one outside of Auto is voluntarily citing Navar, Dinesh, and Marisab for personal reasons.
Understandable.
Man, I had her frozen in a Behold this weekend. I almost took a second one. That's so much I like it.
Oh man. Yeah, the one that I have is 5 stars frozen. So
we also have 4 of these not in the portal yet. Tendy and the Dog, Orion Captain, Ensign Tendy, and Pirate Tendy.
Yeah.
So
Pirate Tendy was a
Tuesday,
6-pack crew as well.
6-pack, yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't been playing currently and Pokemon got to catch them all, then you're probably going to be missing several of these, not to even mention the undesirables from the portal.
Well, yeah, there's not a ton of really good Orions out there. Like, I remember when Osira dropped, she was just okay. I think most people were kind of gunning for her because I think Villain Seat on Voyages was her kind of thing, and I don't even want to look at what her Voyage rank is or what her projections are now. That's not an investment that ages well.
Look, for anyone that's like sitting there, like myself, I'm 3 stars away from the 5 tier on this, and like I was saying, should I just sight up Maris? Should I? And I was thinking, and then everyone's like, no. Do you realize how many Tendies they are going to release in the next 6 months? Like, there are so many different variants. You're bound to get something better to sight, or even a super rare or somewhere like.
Just keep it for a bad Behold.
Yeah, and that as well.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned this also gives them an alternative way to throw campaign value at you. It's like, hey, look, here's our criminal campaign. Here's 5 existing 5-star Osira, and everyone goes, well, there you go. There's my next one for the Orion collection. So it works out for them because they get to sell you something that you didn't have, and it works out for you because you don't have to flush away all of your golds for this campaign. Well, we like spending money as long as it's done responsibly.
Absolutely,
responsibly, and not in 6-packs.
Don't buy 6-packs, kids.
Don't do them.
So this is my one chance to talk about Orions and Cadets, which basically no one cares about, but I do. So let's talk about them. Back in the day,
show notes anywhere. Hang on a minute. Where's this?
If you wanted to clear those Tuesday Cadet nodes, the med nodes, you either needed Dr. Phlox or Nurse Cass. Well, neither of them are Starfleet, so they can't help out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And only Kess is female, so Dr. Phlox doesn't help out on Thursdays. Then they printed Ensign Tendi, #1 med base. At the time, she was the #1 Voyager overall. Great skill set for early game med Cyandra, I think. She has eligibility all the days and is med primary, so she can clear those non-human Tuesday nodes. So I think she really flew under the radar. I mean, they did print EMH, the Honor Hall crew, who could cover them, but no one should be spending 15,000 honor just to try to clear a node on.
I still don't own him.
Yeah,
so
she's very versatile,
physician.
very valuable.
You need lots of them. When you get to your last physician, you need
to
get
wait. It can wait.
I mean, if you're not on the threshold of a milestone for a collection, then kind of what's the point? You're like, bump up one, but it doesn't get you anything.
Yeah, if I'm close to Physician, or if they ever release the much ballyhooed hologram, then maybe. But like until then, I'm like, I've got better things to spend my honor on, like subpar wharfs. Like I have plenty of those.
Do you have the Honor Hall Wharf?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I bought him instantly.
It's got every wharf.
I own every wharf that has currently been released. I have not got all of them finished, but I will do soon.
For Puffcast listeners, are you excited by the Orion collection? 58% say yes, it's a good theme. 25% say yes, they want more small collections. 17%, they just updated. 15% say no, it's too hard for them. And no one doesn't like the theme. I told you guys, everyone loves Orions.
I mean, eventually,
well, that's the thing is, it's an underexplored race. You know?
Yeah, every trait is going to be a collection at some point. I think the next one in the cards has been hinted by Jidoka Kirk's announcement as Athlete. Athlete's going to be coming fairly soon. Every trait. What I'm worried about is when they run out of all the traits and they've expanded all the collections, what do they then do for the content train? I'm just like, oh no.
Well, then someone has to relearn how to manually add vanities, because they've said that's why they don't do vanities so much anymore.
But they did just do one.
It's hard to
do. Pet collection. They literally have just done.
So which is the truth? Which is the truth?
Pointing collection. That's the one we still need. Okay.
They have people like Pal that will buy all the pets. Come on.
Yeah.
I did look up all the traits that are within 10 and like 150 or so. And we have another, if they release one a month, we have another 4 years of collections if they release in that. So I wouldn't worry about that quite yet.
And then the historian trait will finally have 10 people in it.
Maybe. They'd have to do a trade audit for that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I could think of 10 historians. There'd be an easy Picard in there. You get Professor Galen. There's got to be a few other ones.
Idol's been trying to move us along for 5 minutes. We're not having any of that.
Nah, never. Fuck them.
And to think I said, we haven't got much content this week.
See?
Yeah, no, that's a silly thing for you to say.
Marla MacGyver's, who should be historian and is not, we also figure should be augments, which is not engineered, but augments is Khan's gang from like the original series and then from Enterprise. So if they added augments to her, she would be the 10th augments in game. Bam, there's another easy collection. So there
Too close to engineered though, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of crossover between the two.
Well, there's some overlap.
What's their fault?
Yeah, true.
For example, she's not engineered, so.
Well, true. Okay.
Arixun, I believe.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, he would. Let's.
Yeah, but it could be
riveting.
Moving on from Green Ladies, let's talk about Blue Lady herself, Ensign Jennifer. I'm nailing the segues this week. Ennifer Jensen Shreyan. Ensign Jennifer Shreyan, the Super Ray you'll be able getting this week. Andorian, like easy Andorian, like I said earlier. Nice notch one on the collection there. Resourceful as well. I want to see more Jen in lower decks. I'm glad they kind of put her in the card.
Love her.
Yeah, it's great. It's, I'm not going to spoiler that. That's a good one to find on your own if you haven't watched. But she features quite prominently I'd say prominently, a little bit at the end of season 2 and a little bit in season 3 as well. Not so much, but.
Well, season 3 she gets quite a lot of play, and there is a variant of Jen from I think it's episode 2 or 3 that I would want to see as a gold variant. Well, the one with the hat is all I'll say.
Yes.
I want that as a gold variant. That's the one I want.
I know what you mean.
All right, Booter, we're going to make you earn your pay. I just DM'd you Jen's flavor text. So if you and your most sonorous announcer voice could read that for us, please.
Alrighty here. A former member of the Red Shirts, Jen aspires to become captain one day. In the meantime, she ignores Mariner and focuses on pottery and yoga.
Which
I forgot she was part of the Red Shirts crew.
Is that why you sent it to me with my red shirt?
Do you think the Red Shirts have a stupid chant like Red Squad does?
Absolutely.
Red
Yes,
Shirts, Red
dude.
Shirts.
What's the point otherwise?
Yeah. You gotta have a
It's
shot.
like being part of a cult and you can't sacrifice lambs. Like, what am I here for
That might have even happened in the episode. I just don't remember.
Probably.
What was the name?
That
of
seems
Wesley's-
like a Lower Decks thing.
What was the name of Wesley's squad when they went and did the Culvert Starburst? Did they have a squad name? Or were they
Nova
just-
Squad.
Red Squad,
Nova.
wasn't it? Red
Yeah,
Squad?
Nova Squad. That's the one. Yeah.
Is it Nova Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I
Red
like how you
Squad.
remember the Culvert Starburst maneuver, but not Nova Squadron.
Because I made that joke on Reddit somewhere recently, and I can't remember what the joke was, but it was very somewhat tacky.
No, because Red Squad is the DS9 group
the
that helps
DS9
Slayton
one?
with the
Yeah.
coup.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said coup. No, coup is the word I'm looking for. And then Nova Squad is the one from the first duty, which is the piloting squad. So they are very
Very
close, and
You
they
said
are
duty.
technically correct.
I'm a fake fan.
So this
A
card's
dude
that
is so
interesting.
easy
We're
to
not
get
talking
confused,
about
so
it,
don't blame me.
as always. The
Okay,
art's
you know
a
what?
bit
I actually
odd.
I do want to talk about something about this card.
Okay, go on.
Auto, I know you have very strong feelings about Lower Decks art and how well or not it's handled,
Yeah.
especially in the shading. So, talk to me about Jen. What do you think? She looked a little flat to me.
Okay, so I actually did talk about it in the big book because I got nothing better to do. Yeah, I mean, it's better than some. It's not. What's one I'm thinking about that was just terrible? One of those Lower Decks arts. It's a step up from that. And actually, I just love props.
You think it's
Because when they
Spyro
released that, yeah, Spy Rumdar, when they released that whole set of cadets, I think like 4 out of 5 of them are just standing there and looking at the camera. So at least they gave her like a prop to work with, and as an Andorian, you stand out a little bit more from the humans. So I think it's better than average, but yeah, they got to go a little bit more dynamic. Give me more cowpoke boimlers.
Poik.
Cowboy.
Well, it's like what I was talking about when we got Bat Left Mariner, right? When it's like we weren't initially sure, but then I pointed out like the dynamism of the pose and like capturing the spirit of the animation. That's really important for making a Lower Decks crew stand out, especially since we've had a whole rash of animated series crew. Like you want the two to feel different and like they come from different series because they do. You don't want them to blend together just because they're animated.
If they would have done some Charles Schultz Peanuts-esque like whooshing lines to indicate motion, I would have been okay with it because at least that's
I should have been okay with that, yeah.
something extra.
Yeah, I'd have been alright with that. You know what? These are good traits, actually. Like, Andorian, athlete, artist, resourceful. I could see all these, not just, like, athlete, we already know. Artist, I could absolutely see getting collection. That feels like a dunzo when they said maybe like smaller collections. I would love another Andorian, because there was an Andorian mega event, right? Way back in the day.
Wasn't there?
Yeah, back when we had
Yeah.
like 3 of them.
I was
It
gonna
was
say,
And it's like, I'd
Discovery
like a do-over
Andorian.
on that.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
Discovery
I'd like a do-over on that because like we've had a ton more Andorians thanks to later series Discovery, thanks to Lower Decks. Like, give me another one. I'll give you a do-over. Come on, why not?
So for retrieval, if you go that route with your super rares and fleet boss battles, she's probably going to be somewhat relevant there for a long, long time. I think she's the only athlete artist in the game, and if you throw an Andorian on top of that, she's going to be unique for probably to the end of the game.
What does she have for fleet boss battles?
A unique
Well,
trait.
I just mean matching traits. Like if
Oh,
you get
gotcha.
Andorian and
that,
artist
yeah.
pop up,
For
you know
notes.
who it is.
Yeah,
I
but
was
this
like,
is-
what's her ship ability? I missed that one.
She has a billion % damage. Like I didn't realize. I don't think you didn't realize.
100% hull repair. I missed that one.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's the kind of catch-22 with fleet boss battles now. Is like someone in your fleet, between the entirety of your fleet, you need every card in the game, and that's like a big.
That's
ask
in the
if you're
portal.
not- That's in the portal. Yeah.
There are some cards you don't need. There are some cards which no one needs Admiral Janeway, for example. Like,
Okay.
name me a node that Admiral Janeway can clear.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, okay, maybe Captain Scott as well is also another one. Yeah, you don't need, but you kind of get the idea. You need all the unique ones, all the big players.
Yeah.
So you know,
I just
anyone
retrieved
with
Flint.
traits that are relevant. Yeah, exactly. Flint is a great one. Yeah,
He
Flint's
comes
great.
up a lot. and we only have like 5 or 6 of us that have him in our fleet, so I just removed him. Also, because he has so many collections, there's value there also.
He's a wonderfully traded card and great art as well on him.
Nifty says you need all the 100% retrievable crew. Yeah, and that's a good estimate actually. Anyone that can only be retrieved 100%, you need them for fleet boss battles. So between the fleet, and this is another one of them. And this is where you look at crew like Vaso Legalia. Like, yeah, you're gonna need him. Someone's gonna have to take the bite
eventually.
and get him.
Rongovia.
Future me's problem.
That's if we're still playing fleet boss battles in a year anyway. Nobody needs Glindamar. Well, that's a bit harsh. Where you need him.
He's a good character.
He was a good
He's a good
guy.
character.
He's a good character, but that's not
He's
good
the only
card.
crew in the game
not a
with
good
one trait.
It's crazy.
We need
Do
a
you
new
feel like it's
segment.
thematically appropriate for him to be like that? Like he's just Cardassian? I feel like that's appropriate for that part of his story.
The
No
original, the original Damar, maybe. Yeah, he's basically
but
Ducat's
when he-
lackey. Yeah, when he
but
starts, he's just a lackey.
Cardassian on the left. Because it's like, that's what gives Damar's power, a story its power, is the fact that he is just a Cardassian who comes around, right? And I feel like it's almost thematically appropriate that he's one trait.
Yeah.
Almost. He should be a veteran,
should have-
probably. But
We should have a new segment on the show. When a crew comes out, we close our eyes and guess whether they're resourceful or not.
oh, that's a good one.
Vote yes.
Just-
Yeah, always take the over on that.
Take the over, exactly.
Okay, how about another Tuesday offering, if I can find them in my repertoire here. This week's Tuesday, super rare, you can get right now if you're willing to dive into the packs to objectionable quality. Captain Clark Terrell, a very much requested character in the game that they've wanted. Also, the actor for Dathon, if you weren't aware from, the episode. No, Captain Dathon, that's right, yeah. I was trying to get confused there.
Nice. I knew that and then forgot it, so this is great.
Exactly.
It's like watching a movie again for the first time.
0 collections, really much 0 voyage rank. Could they have
0
done it better?
Yes.
Ego done dirty.
He got run
The
down.
captain of the USS Reliant. His mind was overtaken by Khan, but with a loyalty so strong, he took his own life to protect Kirk's.
The only thing good about him is the art's okay. It's from right before
really good.
he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all
It's
he's
good
got.
art. I appreciate
traits
they
are
gave him a
okay.
hero trait.
Yeah.
Yeah, hero is good. I like that.
Okay, I have a
we
quick
actually have to-
quick trivia game for you three. Can you figure out the link between Captain Clark Terrell and Mirror Marlena Moreau?
Are they married?
Ooh.
How many links are we talking about here?
All right, I won't hold up the show forever. Both our flavor texts talk about Captain Kirk.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I
just
was not
those
thinking
two?
that at all.
Does Spock
I'm sure
not have
that's
any?
true about most Spock variants
Yeah.
too.
Okay, Nifty says Kevin Bacon. There probably is an element of Kevin Bacon in there somewhere.
It's the easiest game thing with the other. So we basically have to pin our hopes on Evie's suit Terrell for a decent version of this card, right? Of this character, because
Only other
Terrell's
one
a
I can
great supporting character. He's very iconic, and like this is just not the variant we wanted, really. It's just not there in power. I love the bell bottoms though; they got that right.
Yeah.
Bell bottoms
This
are great.
this art is really, really good.
Mm.
This also might be a trace, but it's a good one.
Yeah, no, the shadowing on it is also really quite impressive with like all the different like light sources and everything. Like it's just
You can
it's a
see the
really
light.
well done.
The light bouncing off the leather of his uniform. He's got the little Starfleet belt buckle. It's really good. You can see his flop
And,
sweat
yeah.
as he tries to resist Khan.
I mean, that's commitment to the bit, right? Yeah, no, it's just
We could get half disintegrated Captain Clark Terrell.
Inspiring Captain Clark Terrell.
Exactly.
Talking to Chekhov, Captain Clark Terrell and Chekhov. There's possibilities. Why not?
possibilities are, shall we say, endless.
Endless. You really trying it. Sorry, Kat is trying desperately to stay on my lap, but she's not succeeding. Get off. Okay, and I'm going to steal your segue here, Auto. Speaking of crew that stars would do better, shall we move on to our Timelines Talks Originals? Timelines
Star Fake Crew. Stars tell us who's first.
So carrying on with your mega that you came up with, Stars, please take us through it once again while I locate the cards we're up to.
I don't remember. What was the theme of this mega? Do you remember?
This was heroes and villains, but some schlop targeted the Maverick joke and went with that instead. I got a little mixed up, but it is a heroes and villains mega.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and the main sort of like thrust of this mega event is that Vori defender Chakotay has been overtaken by some kind of mysterious force, and you have to work out what's going on while also doing battle with various different heroes and villains across the galaxy. So, in week 3 of this mega event, the galaxy is on tenterhooks, waiting to see where Chakotay will strike and bring chaos next. But no one expected a swift, covert attack on the Bajoran fire caves. The only thing standing between a crazed, Par-Wraith-powered Dukat and millions of innocents is a beleaguered crewman Kellen and a battered but stalwart Worf. Help Kellen reinforce the force fields. Keep Worf from falling in battle against an implacable foe, and see if you can't get Dukat to drop a hint as to what's gotten into Chakotay during one of his infamous monologues. So you knew I was going to get a Worf in there.
Absolutely. Of course you were.
Nifty did too.
Yeah, there you go. It's always predictable. But let's be real. I feel like this is one of the single best Worf moments he ever had. And it's really good, one of the few that we don't have in game. Like, Worf got done so much more justice by DS9. Not in terms of like good or bad writing. He was written well on TNG. It's just a case of he was the butt monkey. The Worf effect is a thing. And on DS9, he got to flourish in his element as a warrior. And I feel like this was kind of like the ultimate catharsis here. Because like this two-parter, in Purgatory's Shadow and By Inferno's Light, like not only do they have like fucking amazing episode titles, but they're just such a good two-parter. So good.
I think it's probably of DS9. It's probably my favorite two-parter. I've watched these ones the most, just because they're so good.
But I think you also have a massive love for that season 3 Improbable Cause.
And that one as well. I think when DS9 did two-parters, they did them real well. Like
They got the ability to stretch out the plot a little bit, but yeah, no, I could see this card like already. Like it's just such a striking scene, and we already have the Jem'Hadar who he fights. I think is it Ikatika, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who has
and
the
Captain
great
Bashir.
line?
Captain Bashir.
Oh, you Captain Bashir. We do. Do we have Martok actually?
I don't
like
think we do.
normal
I don't think
Martok?
we've got Captive Martok or Captive Tane either.
Yeah, we could get that
or
green.
Claustrophobic Garrett.
Yeah,
That's who I was looking
Yeah,
at.
that'd be a good one as well. That'll be for the next mega.
One of my favorite parts of this episode is actually so they're in the prison camp, and then I think Bashir says something like, "I wonder what my duplicate's up to," and then they cut to like evil changeling Bashir on the station, and it's so in your face on the nose.
He's giving tea, if I remember. He's giving like O'Brien tea and crumpets or some bullshit. It's so stupid.
So we went over this mega together, and I think I wanted command or sec command. I thought was the best fit, and Stars is like, "That's so boring. He has too many of them. Oh, we got to do something special." So we ended up with the one skiller this time.
I like one skillers. I think it's like getting the Scotty and the previous McCoys and one skiller is such a if they've got the strong enough bases, not Captain Scott. That's good. Having the 2K base is just so useful around, especially sec. Like how many sec seats are there? Plenty.
Yeah, no, I could. This is the kind of crew where, like, say you were competing in a mega event, and this was the crew, right? Design like this.
Competing in an event.
Would you? Imagine this crazy thing happens. Someone's got a gun to your head, and you have to compete in an event. How many copies of this Wolf would you go for?
I mean, if it was an event, I'd probably do 2. I don't know if would I dupe. Maybe I would dupe this. I think. I've started to come around to duping big base crew for events. I don't know what's come over me.
What year is it?
And like, I also wanted to give him a little bit of, because when you I don't know, I imagine like I want to have a conversation, like a proper conversation with the guys at WRG about designing crew, because I'm really curious what their actual ethos is about it, about how they indicate like and decide, okay, this crew is going to be good at fleet boss battles, this crew is going to be good at arena, this crew is going to be good at gauntlet. And what makes them decide that? Or if they even decide that, or if it's just a case of they throw it in a crew sorting algorithm and they see what comes out. I'm curious.
Well, you see,
some crew
Captain
get-
Braxton is from the future, so we have to make him the best crew for 3 years in a row. That's just how the game works.
I think
but yeah,
they
I was like, okay.
think we haven't seen this one for a while. Let's do that. I think that's about as much thought goes into it, honestly.
I wonder what you think of each other.
I could see that, honestly.
Or there's
Yeah,
or there's
I
a
feel like-
been the dart on the dartboard.
We have asked them about the dartboard
yeah,
before,
that's
and they
about
do
right,
deny
actually.
the existence of it, but I'm not entirely sure.
I've seen pictures of the dartboard. I believe it's real.
That thing is so weathered and so well used.
Yeah, no, you got to give your crew a little bit of versatility. So give them lots of trait. Be accurate with your traiting. It helps. People will go for the crew if they have accurate traits, and get a bit of instant damage in there. Give them utility. People like utility in their crew.
So we have the screenshot, but what would the art be? Because I'm thinking probably him on one knee tapping that little console, the little quiz bowl podium button thing.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Like you say, we always love a prop, and I feel like that'd be a good evocation of the scene. Although you'd probably run into the same problem you have with like Humbled Archer and Poe, where like it would mean he'd be quite low on the behold screen. But that's a sacrifice that can be made for good art. I'm happy to sacrifice that.
All right, moving on. Your next crew, Crewman Kellen.
Now, if we had done any prep whatsoever for this episode, I would have pulled something Adagio, the Siege of AR-558 soundtrack. I would have just had you play 3 minutes of that before we talk about this crew.
I would like one of our videos to not have a copyright strike, if we can.
No. Wait, that's got to be public domain, right?
Depends who records it. There's a funny thing with classical music records. Anyway, go on.
Okay. I should have known you, the musician, would have something about that. Idol. Who plays this character?
Oh,
Do you
I knew
know?
you were going to ask me that.
I know.
I did know this at one point, so I will field to our faithful guest, Buta, to answer this question.
Bill Mummy.
Oh,
you didn't mention him when you talked about Bills.
Yes, he was.
You didn't mention him when you talked about Bills. I was thinking that when I was watching the recorded. I was like, you didn't mention him.
It's Bill's the best actor name.
He's in what?
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5. But that's
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. That was what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he's the original Will Robinson.
He's the kid. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that. Oh my gosh.
Is that not nuts? That was Crewman Kellen. So
he's the sci-fi equivalent of Opie Taylor.
Yeah, he is actually.
Wow.
He does so good in this episode. This is such a good episode. Like it's so easy to do just it's a war in the trench episodes, but Siege of AR-558 just hits all the right notes in terms of just developing our characters further in imagining what war looks like in 24th century. And just how much does it suck to be a poor engineering guy who's stuck on fix the disappearing mine detail. That's gotta suck. And Kellen, he got just the right energy of just I've been working for 72 hours. I'm tired. Ezri, please, God, help me. I really appreciate this character for that.
So, since we recently talked about him, Winrick Colby, who directed Caretaker, he goes from the Space Irish up the long ladder, season 1 TNG, to the Siege of AR-558. Does this guy have more depth of directing, breadth of directing than anyone else?
I think you watch his career and he just gets so fed up with directing Trek over time, it just gets to more and more depressing episodes. He starts off with Up the Long Ladder, he
does have some really good Cost of Living, Darmok. He's got really good ones.
All Good Things he did as well.
Yeah, All Good Things.
That's
right.
one.
Yeah.
See, you remember your trivia.
Call him out, Stars. Call him
Well,
out.
it's not as if we didn't discuss it on our latest Star Trek episode on The Caretaker, which you can watch now on our YouTube channel. Anyway, there you go. There's the plug.
And if you subscribe, you can watch the watch along.
And if you, oh yes, indeed, if you're one of our faithful subscribers and have linked your Discord to our Twitch, you can find our watch-alongs or all the episode where we rip the shit out of the Caretaker. And are very
Ill and
faithful.
good love. We love that episode. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just
We're pretty much
we rip on
laughing
it a
the
little
whole
bit.
way
Love it.
and just going, "What are these fake Klingons? Fuck off." Anyway, apologies. Crewman Kellen, why this skill order? Why this trait set? Why this power?
Well, that's the thing. I like a good, memorable supporting character, like the one-off. So it's like Ensign Muniz. Like DS9 had tons of these characters, right? And I think part of the reason I was spurred to do Kellen like this was like I saw Ensign Hoya, who I believe is not from this episode, but one very similar to it. Yeah, resourceful for getting blown up in 3 seconds. And I was like, nah, no one remembers Hoya. I remember Hoya because I'm a fucking nerd, right? But everyone remembers Kellen. Like, even if you can't name him, you remember, oh yeah, he's the engineer who was working with Ezri on the mines. And like that's another, I think they did mind defusal Ezri as a card where she was like NSEC med, because there's a great scene where they're working out how to do the Houdini mines. And it's just like, Eng makes sense for working on the mines, Set because he's literally in the midst of the war zone, and he does unfortunately bite it at the end. I think either saving Ezri or Bashir, I think, from getting gunned down by the Jem'Hadar. And Dip because even though he is in the midst of a war zone, he is doing his best to try and still be a cordial and not a complete gremlin. I feel like I'd struggle with that if I were in a war zone. I would just like, I don't have access to a sonic shower, no holodeck. It's like, I'm going to get grumpy real quick. I get grumpy enough at work and I'm not getting shot at there.
Not yet. You do work in London.
It's true.
All right, let's move on to Possessed Ducats. Voyage number 1.
Yeah.
Super rare.
Look, Ducat's cool, right? Ducat is, I think, one of the best Star Trek villains. Well, he's a fucking genocidal maniac, fascist, racist asshole, but he's cool.
Wait, hold on. Week 4 story text. Stars, we can't skip over it.
We're not going to.
We're not on week 4
Oh,
yet.
is he
This is
still,
week
are
3.
we still on week 3?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the DS9 week.
We're not doing. I'm gathering your ranked and threshold rewards are all new.
Otto,
Everyone's.
I got here late.
Spoil again.
I got here late. Look, there are no good gold Andorians. You can't name one.
He can't name one single one. Now, you want to talk about Fleet Boss Battle Crew? I feel like this would be up there with Bajor and Ducat. I think who's like one of the All Stars. Him and Park and Troy. Perfect. This might be one of the traitiest crew I've ever done. Maybe him or Delta Vega Spock. Well, Delta Vega Spock was ridiculous.
I mean, I couldn't even fit all the traits on the screen. There are some underneath this, I believe.
Yeah, let me double check that. Actually, I'm curious. What do I have?
40 pounds per dollar gold today.
No, you actually got
God. Sorry.
Oh God. Speaking, you've got the Book of Costumosion. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to climb the mountain with Shatner.
Oh man, why is he climbing the mountain? Because it's there.
So we had a mini row about the Paw Wraith trait, which I think it's absolutely stupid. If you're going to add a trait for like 2 crew that's never going to be used for anything. Although now that Boss Battles is around, I kind of take that back. But you did make the point that if we have the Prophet trait for the 2 crew that have it, then you got to have a Paw Wraith.
Yeah, because there's also like we have Paw Wraith Keiko, we would have this Ducat, and then we'd also have Jake. Those are at least 3 that I can think of. And I feel like there's maybe one more. I forget.
I'm sure there's been an episode
one
with
more
another
Paw
Wraith follower or
considering they're like these kind of the
Paw Wraith
I'll come up with like it'll just be idle with red eyes.
Someone get a camera.
Oh dear. Yeah, no, like, guess what? This is the kind of crew where, like, if you were starting out that week and you could get 1 copy of Possessed Ducat and he was this good, would you not be hooked on this game? You'd be like, oh man, I fucking Possessed Ducat. That's a cool.
I mean, we are hooked on this game, and it's kind of a problem now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really. It's sad. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It has been 5 years since the last Ducat variant.
Has it
5
really?
years.
What?
Really?
Really?
No way.
2018, Bjorn Ducat and Breen Disguise Ducat came out.
Wow.
None in 2019, 2020, 21, 22. And so,
That's sad. Not
I
even
guess
Gold
that's 4.
Masset
Is that
either.
4 years?
We can't even get the other Alamo.
Or 4 years, whatever. But it's been way too long.
Does Frederick LaRouque count?
No.
No,
No, he
it's
does
not
not.
Ducat variant.
Damn it.
He
No,
should,
there's
but
only
he
5
doesn't.
of them.
You just blew my mind. Like, I didn't realize it'd been that long since we had a Ducat. Jesus.
I didn't realize there's only 1 gold. I just looked it up.
Fuck, yeah, wow, that is nuts, actually, yeah.
RA's Cult Ducat. That's it.
I mean, at least Klingon Ducat in the arenas is kind of relevant, and they all have good traits. But yeah, 4 years was way too long.
Man, my brain is leaking out my ears. You just rocked my world.
Remember when we had
What do you
4
usually do?
Mariners released in 1 week?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. So long ago.
Yeah, but there's no Star
Every
Trek
rarity under
Ducat,
the
is
sun.
there? There should be.
Yeah.
Would Mark Alamo come back? Would we
Jeez.
want to see Ducat again in a flashback?
I bet
he
he
would,
would.
but I don't
Yeah.
know if Nana Visitor would want to act opposite again.
Yes.
But for those of you who don't know what that's in reference to, go and watch the really good DS9 documentary, What We Left Behind, where they go into why Michael Amo was so good at playing Ducat.
He got into the
That's all
role.
I'll say.
Hey, Kira,
Yes,
banged
he
him
did.
on. Bye. Never gets old.
All right, actually, I haven't seen that. So when we go off air, you guys are gonna have to fill me in,
Okay,
and then we'll
fair
talk
enough.
about Ducat.
Yay.
Okay.
Yes.
Shall we
All
do
right.
Put kids to bed.
Now,
Go on. Oh, go on.
now for week 4, the conclusion of our mega event.
Okay, yes. I was gonna
Just
say.
before being beaten back into his spiritual prison, Ducat lets it slip. Chakotay has fallen under the influence of Gorgon, the chaotic eldritch being thought destroyed at Marcos 12. Now is the time to take the battle for the galaxy's fate directly to Chakotay and his nefarious controller, mustering heroes from across time to help. In particular, Lieutenants Reed and Stamets think they might have just a solution. All the comrades you've gathered will cause a distraction, while Reed will get you in close enough for you and Stamets to help Chakotay recall his true life and his true nature as a hero, banishing the Gorgon forever.
By the way,
Now,
True
I'd like
Believers-
to note
Oh.
that in the Meg announcement, the Week 4 event is titled "We Remembered Enterprise."
It's the most appropriate thing ever.
Just PSA, we will be talking about Jurati and Ixtana Rex at some point tonight after we've done the fake read. But yes, moving
fine.
on. So, your next one. So,
more
you've
fun.
decided to make yet another version of Reed in an EV suit. Oh, my thing's off the screen there slightly. A legendary. Can you apologise for this reckless behaviour?
No,
Oh.
I refuse. EV Suit Reed was such a fucking botch. I'm sorry. There are 3 big episodes where Reed is in an EV suit doing something cool, right? And you pick the one with the snowman.
What? That
Not
was his
the-
I mean-
finest moment.
One with the minefield.
The mine
They got
would be
him.
appropriate. Yeah.
But it got him the artist trait, so isn't that worth it?
Yeah.
Not the one with the minefield, which everyone remembers. Not the one in the drone ship, the one with the snowman. That's the one we have in game, everybody. So yes, we are getting a do-over idol. Deal with it.
So why is he a
I like Reed.
prisoner?
Reed deserves more play.
Why is he a prisoner?
So, you may not remember your Enterprise as well as I do, which we will be getting onto if our subscribers choose that we're going to do an Enterprise rewatch on our Trek.
Just keep
So
adding
this
treks.
comes from-
The more episodes we do, we're just gonna add another Trek to the title.
It'll be off the screen, absolutely. So this is from the 3-parter where it's all about Andorian and Tellarite ships are being attacked by Tellarite and Andorian ships. This is very strange. Why are these allied or neutral powers attacking each other? And it turns out that there is a Romulan drone ship that is adopting the guise of other ships to basically stir up trouble and ensure that they don't ally and form some kind of planetary federation that it is united in some fashion.
How dare they?
Can you
they
form
won't-
some sort of rudimentary lathe? Shut up, guy!
So in the course of this, Tucker and Reed get on board the drone ship, and it leaves with them on board, and they are stuck there. And in the course of this, they basically try and do some sabotage, and they are being trapped in between bulkheads.
Sorry,
Tucker
sabotage.
nearly gets asphyxiated. sabotage. As
Sabotage, if you're sure.
Sabotage, that's the one, yes.
Sabotage. So that's your justification for prisoner. They are actually stuck on the ship. They cannot leave. And it's only with a little bit of ingenuity and blowing shit up, as is the Reed way, that they get out of it, really.
So, Booter, you brought up a diplomat archer earlier. Are you a big Enterprise fan?
I am.
So what do you think about...
my second favorite show.
What do you think about Reed, then?
I think his character was underdeveloped. I think he was pretty much always just kind of the British security guy that doesn't like the water.
Or pineapple.
It's not pineapple, it's something the pineapple contains.
I just feel like he's kind of like Worf in TNG. He never got tons of stuff to do. And then Worf had his Klingon stuff that wasn't really Worf stuff, it was more Klingon stuff. He never really got a ton of stuff to do. I think if it had gone on, they would have gotten to the Section 31 stuff possibly, and that would have been more interesting.
That could have done with some more development, yeah.
Yeah, like I just feel like he was kind of. I don't know, like I don't hate him or love him. I'm okay with him, but like he was definitely underused. It was the big three.
Yeah,
it was the big three show. It was Archer, T'Pol, and Trout.
And Mayweather, right.
Hey kid, you're a boomer. You're a boomer. That's all you got.
Okay, boomer.
Boomer.
Also, you let your
make that the
traitorous ex-girlfriend on the ship and give her the run of the...
Yeah.
Listen,
I forgot about that. Yeah, because she's like Starfleet intelligence or whatever, right?
I am disgusted you've made Reed a good Voyager and that I want him for his stats and not for who he is. Because second command, Voyage 10, that's so hot, but he is not.
Look, this is a good moment for Reed, because, like, to give you context, he has to save Tucker's life, because Tucker is like, no, we're gonna, like, take this ship down, to the point where he disconnects something that, I think it's the warp drive, I think it was. It's either the warp drive or the cloaking device. And the Romulans who are remote communicating with the ship from Romulus are like, look, you reconnect that and we'll give you air back. And he's like, nope, you stay there. You do not open this air. You let me die so that we can take the ship down. And Reed's like, all right, fuck that shit. And he reconnects it for Tucker, drags him out of there. And Tucker gets really pissed about it. He's like, you disobeyed a direct order. That's a problem. And then Reed's like, I left a phase pistol on overload inside there, so it doesn't even matter. So he gets to have his cake and eat it too, and that's where the arena quote, "I apologize for saving your life. It won't happen again." So Reed gets a good moment. Like, he doesn't get a ton of play in Enterprise, but this is one of those shiny moments where it's like, okay, he may be just the British security officer, but he is good at his job occasionally. Yeah. He gets his moments.
He gets his pineapple upside down cake and gets to eat it too. Come on.
You gotta ask the whole ship.
Help you.
Now, for those that don't remember, if the children shall lead, was that the Gorgon
and the children
episode?
shall lead? Yes.
Cranky, this is yours, by the way.
This is your.
Yeah,
card.
you suggested
for
this.
For those that don't remember this episode, which is probably one of the single worst TOS episodes ever. Oh my lord! And you decided to bring the Gorgon in.
Look, I'm just saying, because it makes thematic sense. Who else could turn Chakotay from the right path and turn him into just like a wreaking havoc across the galaxy?
Janeway.
But the malevolent Gorgon.
Janeway's done it numerous times.
It was the Gorgon. He did it. It was him. Otto, you have some trivia about well, not say about the character, but the actor, which I think you were telling me about when we watched this episode together.
I do. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to pull a WRG and copy directly from Memory Alpha, because this is. So I can't even find it now. This is why you got to give me heads up on this. Hold on, let me find the.
Well, maybe you should be prepared and look at the show notes. You know what? While you're doing that.
Oh, hold on. It was IMDb. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who else is
so
on
while
IMDb?
he's looking at that idol.
Do you know who else is on IMDb?
We are.
Time Nice Talks has his own IMDb page. Thank you very much to Shireporn for saying
we are credited. We are artists now.
We are in the professional realm for professionals, which is what we are. Totally professional.
Complete professional.
Absolutely.
So,
Anyway,
Idle,
go on.
are you telling me you wouldn't want this card?
Let's have a look. Command Sisek. 4161. No. Why would I want this card apart from
Look at his proficiencies.
his proficiency? Oh
God,
Lord,
no.
what have you done? What have you...
Science.
Good Lord,
For
what have you done?
science.
You've given him a science proficiency of 4 or 5 to 933. That's big boy cards levels. How dare you? That's disgusting.
How dare I give the new players something to play around with in Gauntlet?
could
They
you?
should be forced to get by on scraps like Command Rep
Yes,
Kirk.
and we will be
That's
talking
what they should do. Back in
episodes-
my day.
After we've done with these Timelines Talks originals, we'll Redemption asked a question about talking about Gauntlet for new players, so we will get onto this, which might be a little bit thematic, but yeah. Go on.
Yeah, in fact, spoilers, Redemption. If you're curious, the card that this is based off is called Marshal of France Q. He is a really good Gauntlet card if you come across him in your beholds. Grab a copy, he will absolutely help you out, despite his somewhat meh skill set. And guess what? Gorgon is hilarious, okay? Trek is not Trek without the stupidity and the lameness and the silliness. Right?
This
Come on, you have to
wasn't a
admit that.
silly
Especially the
episode, though.
OG.
This was just cringe.
I
Really.
don't think it was
Especially
meant
the-
to be all that silly.
Well, yeah, yeah. So it was meant to be a lot more serious, but guess what? That's what gives it its charm. It's like watching The Room, right?
Okay,
Got
so I
that trivia
can't
ready,
find
Otto?
I can't find the exact quote because we sat on the couch together watching the worst of Trek, and so
Yeah.
we'd like pull up trivia for each one so we could spot stuff that came up. I couldn't find the exact one, but Walter Koenig, aka Chekhov, considered this to be the worst episode of the series. While he felt the episode was very poor
Is this the
overall,
flavor
his biggest
text?
complaint was the casting of Melvin Belly as Gorgon. Firstly, because it severely undermined the main villain, and secondly, because he considered it an act of stunt casting, which had robbed professional actors of a potential job. No punches pulled there. Yeah, so what I remember from the trivia is they get this guy who's actually a lawyer to come in real life and do this bit of acting, but he was so bad and so stilted. They were just going to have him like standing there doing the acting. He was so bad they added this like visual filter and then started distorting his voice stronger and stronger, just so like you couldn't tell how bad his acting was.
Wow.
Belli, excuse me. I don't know all the 1960s lawyers out there by name.
Yeah, he was somehow a 1960s celebrity lawyer, which I thought was a thing that only happens now, but yeah. And they stunt cast him, and he's so bad. Even with all that reverb and the visual effect, he is...
Bad.
Like, you want to talk about Janice Liston? Like, no, this is the worst performance in all of TOS. This is abominably bad. But
That's
guess
rough.
what? It's all part of the rich tapestry of Trek.
That's true. You can't have all good things if you didn't have Gorgon.
You could.
You,
It's true.
you can't have
No,
the
you
inner
can't.
light. You can't have the inner light without Gorgon. He was the trailblazer.
I think you're doing it wrong.
Responsible for everything you love. You didn't know this.
Like if
but
you,
it
if you
is.
said to me you can't have Q without Trelane, I would give you that. But no.
You're wrong.
Or maybe
sir.
you'll like the next card a bit more.
All right, let's move on.
Hey, hold on. We haven't even talked about this card yet. The stats, right?
We did a little
We
bit.
talked about the proficiencies. This guy has so many traits. He would be better than like most of the super rares in the game alone, just based on traits, right?
I think you probably
Communicator,
have a
culture
good, like,
figure, resourceful, survivalist.
It's 4 collections.
there's probably got at least like 4 or 5, like 45% gauntlet sets in there too. He'd probably be quite good there. Not just because of the rolls. And you get a bit of instant damage. I'm kind to new players. You get one
Idle,
copy
you're
of
dead
your
inside.
set.
All right, we can move on.
How dare I make the Gorgon viable? How dare
Jesus
I?
Christ, how could you do this to me? It's ridiculous. However, you did introduce time loop Stamets, so I'm very happy for you for this. And you gave him lots of nice traits. And I love this episode.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
One of the best season 1 discoveries.
Like, season 1 Discovery, a bit rough in places, but this is... especially this scene, where it's after Burnham has completely bungled her romantic encounter with Tyler, and she's like, well, how do people connect romantically? I don't get it. It's not something I've ever had to deal with, because, you know, human child growing up on Vulcan, not a lot of romantic opportunities there, oddly enough.
Once every 7 years. How old's Burnham?
Wow.
Divide that by 7.
I
There
don't
you
think that's how It doesn't work like that for the children, Idol, you weirdo.
No,
But what a week, huh?
Come on.
Jesus. All right.
She's
And
in her
he-
40s,
and,
30s, 40s. Like, that's plenty
Yeah,
of scope.
she's like late 20s, early 30s, I believe,
Yeah,
at this
plenty
point.
of scope there for 7 years. Come
Um,
on. Anyway, come on.
So, shut up about the 7 years, okay? You're as bad as the fanfic artist. Jesus. And
He's-
Samus begins to relate to her.
He
'Cause
said
it's-
authoritatively. Sorry.
Yes, I'm doing my goddamn best, okay? This is my segment. I get one job on this stupid ship, and it's stupid, but I'm gonna do it, okay?
How are you, Booty? You doing alright there?
I'm doing great. I grabbed Thor's hammer.
There you go.
Dude, he stuck with us through Gorgon, so there's no slowing this train down.
Yeah. And Stamets begins to relate to her by explaining that, relationships are built on understanding, on truth, and you can't hide who you are. Relationships never work if you try and do that, because it will always fall apart. If you want to reach out and make a connection, you have to be willing to be afraid. You have to be willing to put yourself up to risk, and you have to be vulnerable. And that's a really important part of being in a relationship and making connections. And now that I'm saying this, it actually all comes kind of like full circle, because that's almost the exact same advice that she gives Spock at the end of season 2. In regards to finding someone who is so utterly unlike you and reaching for them, which I really enjoy little through lines like that. Like season 1 and season 2 of Discovery, they get a bit of a bad rap because they're a little bit uneven, but there's some good stuff in this. But man, Stamets is so good in this episode. He's such a fucking gremlin. He's just like around fucking up Mud's plans. He's just like so infinitely frustrated, and it's such a good twist on the good old Star Trek time loop episode, because he's the only one who's aware, and he has to constantly deal with, but he's also dealing with the villain who's constantly aware of everything that's going on. It's just this battle of not even 3-dimensional chess, it's more like 8-dimensional chess, but half the board doesn't realize that they're playing. Like, it's just a great episode. I have so much fun with it, and very traity. I appreciate a good traity crew.
It's 12 traits. That's very traity.
Yeah, that's to Mintar and Troy level there.
So
And
is
I'm
he
sure
engineered? Is he engineered because of the spore drive
Yeah.
implant?
Yes, because there's actually a bit of dialogue.
Is Navigator Stamets engineered?
He should be.
Yeah.
All of them
Yeah,
should be up
that's-
until season 3. They should be, but they aren't. Because in this episode, you get a bit of dialogue where he shows off the augment that allows him to hook into this war drive, and he literally says, my boyfriend Kolber engineered this cybernetic augment, which would classify as engineered. So, by logic, he should be, but he isn't, because WRG are not good at traits. But I did it because I'm diligent. And also gave me an excuse to rewatch this episode 3 times, because I love it. I pick up new stuff every time. It's good fun. But yeah, these are the people who will help you in your Heroes and Villains Mega, and I think it's a pretty fun theme. Fun themes and coherent themes.
You do have one more on this list, though.
Oh, yes. So, once the Mega has concluded and you've got your 4 out of 5 Dakota, and you're looking at your portal packs and you're thinking, do I want an extra star on Resilient Wharf? Do I want to start another... what do I want to do here? I've got a few 4 stars here I could finish off. You might find that there is another hero/villain in your recap packs. Totally not there to dilute your chances of getting other good golds. Totally not. No, that's totally not what's going on.
No, of course
Never.
not.
We'd never do that. This is a legacy card. This is our triple quark of the Mega. Rudy Ransom of Equinox. Who I think I got a bit of shit for some of these traits, because I think I was told I gave him too many. Which you didn't realize how much more powerful I would become.
Would I say hero?
Yeah, he did. He was heroic at the end. At the end.
Yeah, you salvaged it at the end. That's fair.
Captain Rudy Ransom.
Guess what? If you pull it out at the end, it's fine.
Because we originally thought, can we do a whole mega of crew who are both heroes and villains? Who has good redemption arcs in Trek? Rudy Ransom's an easy one. We thought maybe Galatine, because he starts out bad, but then Picard appeals to his humanity, as we all have inside of us. So, but we couldn't really come out with enough. So,
I just realised. Apologies to podcast listeners, because I haven't been reading these out, and this is a very visual thing. So this is Captain Rudy Ransom, Legendary Crew, suggested by Rev Damar, Command Sex Psi, voyage number 15. Need to do that more for our podcast.
Yeah, he's
listeners.
like,
I wish they would dilute recap packs with top 15 Voyagers who had 18 traits. That would be fantastic.
I wish they released good cards.
you
is
should
what you're
be so
saying.
lucky, right?
But no, we got Triple Quark.
I think Triple Quark's fine. He's cute at least.
I love Equinox. It's such a good set of episodes.
It's a good. Yeah, it's
Equinox is a really good two-parter. I think the second part falls apart a little bit, but it is still overall very hot, very warm, very done.
It's got a good Chakotay moment where, much like Cisco, Janeway's ready to just fucking kill a guy, and Chakotay's like, no, not this time. And he runs in and defies his...
Does he say the Scorpion rhyme again? Or I'm sure he does that more than once in Voyager.
No, he says it just the once.
There's a Scorpion traveling on the Delta Flyer's back.
I can't see anything out of my right
No, I was
eye
going to
right
say,
now,
you've
so
kind of got a little
I'll be back.
He refuses to believe that the universe is just badly designed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So Idle, give me your honest thoughts. So in this mega, you get Vori Defender Chakotay, Voyager rank 14, Sex Side Dip.
Yeah.
You get Baku Picard, Sec Dip Command, but Voyager rank 29, good gauntlet. You get Gallatin, who's traity as hell, and a little bit of instant damage, is super rare. You get Timeline's Originals. You get one skill of Worf, who's like kind of a mensch. You get Sec Med's Side, Disturbed Tuvok. You get Surgical Chancellor EMH. You get Warship Kim. You got Kellen. You got Ducat. These are all really traity crew. Would you pull on recaps for this mega?
I mean, yeah, I would, but you've set yourself a problem now, is you've made this mega so good that any mega afterwards is just going to seem like a disappointment. You've set the bar too high, and now everything else is going to be like, this diplomat mega. You've got to be careful. You've got to balance it. You can't have the too good with the too bad.
No, all power creep all the time.
Yeah, true.
All the time.
You are right.
No, I told him, stop making, like, top 5 Voyagers with every single gold, and then he prints the one skill Worf. He's like, see, I didn't do it this time.
See, I didn't do it. Boo, what about you? Would you pull on packs for this mega?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
See?
I said, my criteria, I look at collections, I look at unique skill sets. Power depends on the skill set. That's what I pull on.
Yeah, you can make do with like so power if the skill set is there, but yeah, if it's a bad skill set and bad power, then it's just like, well. And then you have JG Palmer, and where would we be then?
Ugh.
So which is your favorite freight crew, and why is it Gorgon?
Timelines Talks Originals.
There's even a song. Even the song, it says totally not fake crew.
Guys, we can't get to the next segment unless we all summon the Gorgon. There we go. Someone clip that.
Okay. Redemption very kindly in chat asked us a question to highlight his chat. He is a new player. They are a new player. I didn't want to assume your gender. For a new player trying to participate in the Gauntlet is an absolute hell these days, and no denying it. Gauntlet is an unbalanced mess, and if you're a new player, God help you, because it's hard work. Tips and advice for anyone new trying to break into the Gauntlet without just saying buy X crew or retrieve X crew.
Well, that's a bit of a shame because my number one tip was going to be grab Fury Kess.
Retrieve is fine. Retrieve is fine. Sorry, I'm buying was the one.
Retrieve Fury Kess, because I believe me and Otto were talking about her years ago, and we said this. Well, yeah, because guess what you get with Fury Kess right out of the gate? You get a really choice skill set, which will perform 1 out of 5 on like a young roster. Absolutely will. You get really good gauntlet rolls with an uncommon skill set, which helps. You get Sec Med, you get Sec Psi, you get a little bit of Med Psi as well. Not the best, but it's great. It's all right. With occasional 25 and 45% gauntlet coverage. You get instant 6-second damage, which is good for Arena and for Skirmish. And you get some really unique traits like Ocampa, Prodigy, Botanist, Brutal, etc., or that you can use in Fleet Boss Battles. There are very few areas in the game where she does not contribute at all. She is a really good all-rounder crew. So I'm pretty sure I still stand by that recommendation, as if you had to pick one crew to grab right out of the gate and you needed that to be your only gold crew for a while because you don't know when you're going to get your next one, I'd say Fury Kess is a pretty good one. If you've got the retrieval available and you need a good, easy recommendation, Fury Kess. She's strong. I like her. And you get a notch on botanist as well, which is a hard collection to do. So
the value in
Fury Cast Redemption is the one.
Yeah, Fury Cast. The value in Kalis. If you get that, I'll type for you. What are you doing? Kalis. There you go. Kalis the Unforgettable in the Honor Hall. 100,000.
I briefly forgot his name, but trust me, he's unforgettable.
Absolutely. Who now? Sorry, I've already forgotten it. 100,000 honor. You may think, holy moly, that's a lot. In your Timeline's career, if you're going to play this for a few years, you will earn multitudes of that. Your first 100,000 honor going on Kalis the Unforgettable will not be wasted. May have been pipped a little bit by Balok lately, but he is still undeniably a great Gauntlet crew. He gets a lot of 65% crits. If you look at how Gauntlet works, you get 3 traits that are chosen from. If you fill one of those traits, you get a 25% bonus to your roll. If you get 2 traits, that's 50% bonus. It's a 45% bonus. And if you get 3, it's 65% bonus. So Kalis the Unforgettable gets a lot of 65% bonuses, especially when there's Klingon. They come around fairly oftenly. And he's a great Voyager. He's got good collections as well, but his Gauntlet capabilities are still very, very good.
Yeah, so the Honor Hall is basically like a place where they will occasionally add in new crew, and with the exception of 1 or 2, none of them have matched up to Kalis the Unforgettable, because he is still just... There are Gauntlet sets created exclusively for him, that are only for him, which is not something that happens anymore. Crew don't get that treatment. The only crew to get that treatment are Gauntlet exclusives, and frankly, the only advice I can give you for chasing them is... Go after streaks. Don't worry about getting rank 1. Rank 1 does not correlate to getting more copies. Nope. I have gotten way more copies of Gold Crew from rank 79s and rank 133s from good streaks than I have ever from a rank 1. If you don't have Balok, and it might take you a while to get Balok because he's no longer the featured crew, so he's not the 50% chance. Kalis is your next best shot, really.
Who knows?
You never know. But here's the thing. Even if you got Balok tomorrow, you would still use Kalis. I still use Kalis when his traits hit, because they are just that good. And he is one of the only crew who can approximate Balok's power, who is always obtainable, who is obtainable for a set price. You don't have to go into 6-packs, you don't have to go for an event, you don't have to wait for a thing to roll around. He is always available, and he has other benefits as well that will last. So Kalis is another good pick.
So I'm going to plug our own stuff. I'm not just a president, I'm also a member, because I actually did use it this week for one of my potential reroll alts. bigbook.app/rating/gauntlet. Just type in the word portal, and it will show you all the crew in the portal, which also means they're retrievable. Yeah, like you said, when you're starting out, the best use of retrieval, in my humble opinion, is Gauntlet, because you only need 1 star. If you try to go after a Voyager at 1 star, they're not going to do a ton for you. A 1/5 might do the same as, say, a new purple from an event, and you're going to get those every week. So the Gauntlet crew at that 1st star are probably the best. It can be really tough to level them up to 100 when you're new. They use a lot of faction items. They use a lot of 4-star items to build these gold items. Very expensive, very expensive credit-wise to replicate too. But trust me, you have to take them all the way to 100, get all their gear equipped, because that's where the power comes from. Just leveling them up doesn't do it as the base stats, but not the proficiency that you use in Gauntlet. So you can also get some 2-for-1s. I know you had a behold with Gary 7 earlier. He's good in Gauntlet. He's also good on Voyages. Names like Boothby Replicant or Dexa also kind of fill the 2-for-1. Even though you only have 1 star, you can still voyage with those rare skill sets. So I would make your first 3 or 4 maybe retrievals for Gauntlet to help you get set up, and just make sure you level them all the way so that you can equip all of their gear.
Give a shout out to...
I did agree with that.
There's a couple of portal retrievals, especially in the med category. Defensive Phlox, he's a bit of a wild card. He goes really low on the proficiency, but he goes incredibly high. He's still one of the best ones to get. Like, he features enough in a few 25% here and there, but he's generally one of the best med options. If you have no one med, you just go, oh, I'll take Phlox, fuck it. Another one is Ari Ben Bem. He gets the Pandronian. He gets the one with the weird kind of body and arms. I'm going to type that one for you if you're not familiar with the crew.
He's really versatile, actually. He gets a ton of weird sets.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's really strong. He features quite often, more than not, and he's a good sub in for Phlox as well. Then people are saying no, not Mitchell. Do not take Mitchell.
Never take Mitchell. Never.
I'm gonna demod you, Cranky.
Yeah, Twilight T'Pol is another good one as well. She gets more crit sets. Sulan, maybe. Might agree on Sulan occasionally here and there if you can, but
Med Command. It's a bit of a barren wasteland. So
one thing we'd like to add to the site, which God bless No Name Namer, is in the midst of basically rewriting the entire back end because hosting was about to skyrocket to a lot of money, and we want to keep it free for you guys if we can. So he's busy with that. But one of the things that we want to add is basically a way to sort by the number of A-tier gauntlets, B-tier gauntlets, so you can see, and that's very useful for even elderly players. Boy, it just rolls off the tongue now. Even if a crew is not great overall, sometimes they have that one or two really strong 65% gauntlets where even, an established roster would bring them along. So look out for that if it comes anytime soon. I don't want to put more on Namer's plate, but that's something that I think we could all use.
Booter, what about you? Do you have any Sage Gauntlet advice? Because I tend to go for like lots of streaks and lots of just like hit the 10-point value, so you keep at a low value and get easy opponents. I don't know if you have a different strategy or if you.
I used to do that. Now I kind of hate gauntlets, and my strategy is to join about 15 minutes before it turns over, so I spend less time in there. That's my general strategy, and go for high rank because I can usually get in the top 3, not necessarily the top 1, but I can usually get in the top 3. That's kind of my general strategy. But before that, whatever I was starting out, I would just sign up whenever, and I would do streaks like the first day, and then the second day I would focus on rank. Is kind of the way that I split the difference. And I was just typing in there. The other thing that I do is you try and have like you diversify who you take in with you. I try and have like one strong command base, one strong eng base, one strong med, one strong diplomacy. Like you have one of everything.
You mean the proficiencies for Gauntlet?
Yes.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say, don't take the strong bases into Gauntlet.
Yes, not bases. Yes, I mean proficiency.
No, bring Captain Tribble for fuck. Why not?
No, what was it?
That would be fun.
Back in
7 and Greb Nedlog.
Yes, that's exactly what I was just going to mention. Yeah, it was 7 that took in 4 Gred Neblogs, who's got an absolutely awful diplomacy, but still managed to get like a 3 streak out of it. It's ridiculous.
So once you start collecting some ship schematics and you're able to participate more in fleet boss battles, even if you just do 1 damage and your fleet kills it, you're going to get a lot of merits rolling in. So early on, it's probably not worth burning all those merits because it doesn't matter how many times you try, you just won't have the crew to compete. But once you start getting some of these names fully equipped at level 100, all those extra merits will come in handy to roll and try to find advantageous matchups.
Yeah, if you're a new player and your fleet's doing boss battles, definitely make sure you're getting that because that gets you honor too.
And if you can stick it all the way, and as you will age through like fleet boss battles, which is going to hang around for a while, you can get your hands on a copy of like Frantic McCoy. That's an incredible Gauntlet crew.
I have just got my Frantic McCoy. I've got him
I
up to
haven't
100.
got mine just yet, so I'm excited.
He's so good. He's really good.
Yeah, so that's a crew that is available level 17 Captain's Bridge, which is going to help you out in all other ways. You're going to get a ton of resources from that. It's probably going to take you a while if you're a new player to contribute and get up to that level. Yeah. But if you've got a decent fleet, they can help you, and you can, like, guess what? There is no stigma to riding coattails in this game, right? It's all in the name of cooperation, so just let them pull you along. If you can get a Frantic McCoy, just freaking go for it.
Genos has his Nightmare ult in our fleet. He's a level 14 bridge.
He's
a level 14 bridge on his Nightmare.
Call Genos out.
Yeah, do it. Absolutely. Yep, exactly.
Meanwhile, he's roasting Idle and
yeah,
shit.
Absolutely. So. I got him. I preempted him.
I come in. I do my. I spam that button and I get out. Anyway, moving on. Before we talk about me some more, let's talk about the week's upcoming crew. What you can get for your prize. Ooh, let's get rid of the fake crew. Sorry, my stream deck isn't working, so I'm having to do this manually.
Timelines talks originals.
Originals.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Externarax. the Jem'Hadar. First Jem'Hadar gold we've ever seen?
Ever, yeah.
Yeah, first Jem'Hadar gold in the game.
Ever?
Ever. Security rank number 5.
Sorry,
Set
Miss
command
Jackson.
end. Yeah, another set command. Another set command. Void rank 106. Real crew here. This is non-mega, so we're out of the mega. This is the first. This is sort of like what we're doing instead of a flashback. Yeah, flashback crew. So actually getting a real.
It's a
crew
weird
for your
structure they're
money
going with.
Yeah, for your time instead. I like the fact we're getting a gold Jem'Hadar, and he's not utterly awful, but it's not. There's not a lot here.
Look, he's limited. His skill set is not amazing, but he is cool. I like the art. He is more unique than a Command Dip Psi like Snooze Fest. I will go grab 2 copies because it's cool.
Interesting.
Ixtana Rax tried his best to prevent his commander from being tricked by the imprisoned Defiant crew, but he was completely ignored.
Nah, having worked in retail, I can tell you that's relatable.
This is actually probably my favorite episode in all of DS9 for the Jem'Hadar development, because you can see they're not just mindless killing people; they're also sometimes, your boss is an arrogant gas bag, and he always knows better than you, and he's not going to listen to no matter how much experience you have. So it sort of humanized them in a way, which was nice. Kind of made you root for a guy who's probably would rather be out slaughtering humans, but yeah.
Is this the one
You're not
that
wrong.
he's the Gamma, and his
Yes,
alpha is like, no, I'm the alpha. We do it this way in this quadrant, and then he doesn't work out for him.
Because they introduced this plot point of they have locally grown
Yes,
ethically sourced Jem'Hadar grown in the Alpha
Gluten-free Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, exactly. They're ethically sourced. They are organic, fair
Free
trade.
range.
they're vegan.
Exactly. And for some reason, this causes a massive cultural shift where all the alphas are these arrogant upstarts, and all the gammas are these seasoned veterans. Even though they're all 3 years old maximum,
Right.
and they're all drug addicts. But it was a fun little cultural thing. It's a shame they never really did anything more with it. I think it's One Little Ship is the episode that this appears in, and
Honey, I Shrunk the Runabout.
the Runabout. Yeah, it's the actual title, which I think they even said it was called that in the initial script treatment. And it's a bit of a shame that such an interesting concept is kind of wasted on a comedy episode, but the episode's a lot of fun anyway. So I give it a pass.
Yeah, Mr. Worf, I believe your wife's here.
This is the story of a little
Hey,
a little
real
ship
fan.
that took a little trip.
So
It's
it's
Wolf
really
reading a poem. It's in tier 1 episode.
it's really hard to make an all gray uniform, gray face art dynamic, but they did do a lot of detailing here, which I appreciate in his uniform. So I think it's pretty strong art.
Yeah, and I love the expression on his face. That's a tier 1 avatar. You could make some really good bridge crew with that. I feel just him looking pissed.
Also, yeah, so the power level isn't. I mean, they were throwing number ones, whatever, over and over and over.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more than suitable. And this being right after the Mega is an easy time to pounce if you're not someone who feels that they can always compete and keep up with the rush of all these new crew. This might be a good time to pounce and grab someone while everyone else is kind of in hibernation waiting for the next Mega.
You know who he reminds me of, actually? I just realised. Down to the skill set and decent traits and the set basic. He reminds me a bit of Carpenter Street Archer, although not quite as traity. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, because he top 5 base, and he would voyage probably for the average player, if you just threw him on your roster at 5/5 right now, you'd probably get 2 to 3 years of voyages out of him. Because it is on the more common side for skill set, and the power isn't dynamic, but you're going to need
What is the face?
Yeah, veteran seating, maverick seating. He'll tactician. He'll find seats for a while.
I will get 2 copies, but probably not more than that. And that's just my general. I get 2 copies all the time.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
The
I'll
default
roster
state
of
of
nothing but
being is
2
top
and occasionally
750.
3.
Yeah. Yes.
My current mood,
comfortable in
rank
there. I like
385.
This is my hole. I'm comfortable in the hole. This is where
Okay.
I like to be.
Before we go into this next crew, the last crew we'll talk about today, spoiler warning for the end of Season 2. If you've only watched Episode 1 of Season 2 of Star Trek Picard, the very name is a spoiler for the end of Season 2 of Picard. And
Homo sapiens only club. The
I
name
right?
alone is an insult.
This is Borg Queen Jurati, which, okay, if they'd have just said something like elusive Borg Queen, or maybe like mysterious Borg Queen, you could have got away with it, but you're just putting it out there saying, yeah, no, it's Jurati. It's her under there. Because that's the big mystery of Season 2, is like, okay, this is the new Borg Queen. This is how she presents herself on... No, you stupid cat. Fuck, she just shut down my computer. No. Right, I'm now putting it live. Okay, we're back. Hang on. My cat stepped on my... Oh my gosh. On my power cable and broke the stream.
ISIS!
Hang on. I've got
Now, Idle.
Hello.
What you were saying before the CBS snipers got to you.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Where was I?
Having achieved harmony with the Borg Queen's consciousness, Jurati has forged a new and more humane collective aimed at saving lives.
My day is cursed. Hang on. Can't find her. Stupid cat.
this is
I've
so
got to turn
good.
off that function. She
So-
literally leapt down off my lap and stood on the power button of my computer. Ugh. Okay, so yes, if they had, where did I get up to? So yeah, they basically call it Borg Queen Jurati right from the up, which I think is a bit of a dick move. I think with Booker, they at least put it in the flavor text that it was a bit of a spoiler. This is straight up, we're going to ruin Season 2 of Picard for you. Which, okay, we've had spoilery characters before. Obviously, you know, you look at someone from TNG, season 7's TNG, or DS9 with Nog, and you kind of go, why is Nog in a tuxedo? There's a spoiler reason there. But the whole mystery is, most of the mystery is like, who is the Borg Queen at this point? Why does she look like that? And I think this is a kind of a bit of a dick move to kind of, if they'd had Jurati with her face out, I'd have been more happy with that to say, yes, that's, you know, at the end of Season 2, that would have been more agreeable. But the way they've done this is a bit, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that.
I disagree for two reasons. One, it's been 5 months. How long are they supposed to wait? And two, we've given them grief in the past for, like, you know, if there's a Picard event, you have to search Dixon Hill, you have to search Galen. It's hard to remember who all the variants are.
No, that's
So for
true.
people just looking to use her in the future, especially since she's a purple and will probably be frozen and thawed back and forth, having Jurati in the name does help out there.
True. I just, I think the spoiler policy is relative to who you are. I think there are a lot of people that haven't watched even like some early, even watched Picard season 1, and I think the time is relative. Like when you've got something like a serialized show, the twist comes at the end and go, haha, and then they move on to the next episode. But the whole of season 2 is its own encapsulating thing. I think that this is. Yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying about the being able to search for the crew, but there are ways they could fix that on their end to make it more accessible.
Well,
so you
how
wouldn't have
long? How long would you want them to wait?
I don't know. I think it's not necessarily in how long I want them to wait. I wouldn't want them to put it in the name. I think they can release the crew as long as they don't like I said. If they'd have released Jurati with her face out, that would have been a bit. I don't know. It's a tricky one. I don't know. I feel it's. I might be the only one that says that.
Break our tie here.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I'm that Futurama gift.
Damn you, neutrals.
What I have strong feelings about
Filthy neutrals.
is the fact that Jurati is now, I believe, the only Picard Series 1 and 2 regular who does not have a gold variant. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Are they
Even
formulating
Elnor
her?
has two. Even
Is she
Elnor
going to
has
be a
two.
web store exclusive? Red Dress Jurati is going to be a web store exclusive. You heard it here first, folks. Speaking of that,
Sick.
we did get from Shan.
If you can hear me, hit the power again. Do it.
Speaking of that, we did get from Shannon in the forums today. She did say we do intend to bring Red Dress Jurati into the game, It's going to be a web. You just know it's going to be because people want it, so it's going to be $50 in the web store. She also said someone didn't like the art, which I'm sure we'll get into. She said we hesitated for this one, but we felt like the version with Alison Pill's face visible was not the most flattering for the actress and would not render well.
And yet,
meaning that version does exist.
And yet, we have Gathoriel Labin in the game right now.
Stroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stroll's a real bad one.
I mean, there's a lot of bad arts. Sorry, Booter.
Yeah. Oh well, to break the tie, I'm kind of with you, Otto. I'm. It's been a couple months. I think they've waited long enough to release the crew. And yeah, I think I saw somebody mentioned in chat like there's been worse spoilery things. Worse spoilery things that they've done. Because I know I've just been playing events. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that yet. Oh, okay. I guess that's the thing. I've definitely seen that like with Strange New World stuff because I didn't watch that right away when it came out, and I know some of the crew. I was like, oh, okay. So, I think, and they're trying to walk a fine line. I'm sure they have an edict to push the new shows from CBS, right? So, you know, they've got to balance that with spoiling things. So
the art is very cool. I really like the art.
I like it actually. Yeah,
it's what Ball Queen 7 should have been. Like that kind of dynamic art with the tendrils coming out instead of just 7 standing next to a noose.
Right, instead of the exact same character.
Yeah.
And they did also go the extra mile with the bit of the green smoke, whatever you want to put on there. Now there was a still frame which I probably shared with some buddies after the episode came out, but she like beams, since we're already in spoiler territory, she beams aboard the bridge and she fires disruptor beam bullets out in all directions at once, stuns everyone on the bridge at once, which is like a total badass introduction move. But if they could have done that kind of art, that would have been even sicker. But this is already, you have a random event purple with much better art than an Honor Hall equivalent Borg 7. So
that does suck, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sad.
I know someone in our fleet was very upset that she's a super rare, not a gold.
Yeah, we need more good Borg.
Also, golds. Not a diplomat.
Yeah, that as well.
I didn't even think of that.
Not a diplomat.
Yeah, but that's par for the course.
Yeah.
They literally added them.
The course.
They literally added cultural figure to like 3 characters live after releasing them during that mega because they were called out by people who are like, "What the hell are you doing?" But you know, they're not going to learn on that front. They're going to keep doing that same mistake. So
they seem to have a recurring theme of like, we'll do 1 good mega, then 2 like, and then they'll go 1 good mega, and then like either statistics-wise or theme-wise, like they can't seem to nail doing both.
Well, it's not that she's just missing it. Theming wise, Booker, Kylie Pike, Girardi, they're on theme. Like they actually does fit a diplomat mega. They just refuse to give him the trait for whatever reason.
Yeah, she's literally being a diplomat at this occasion.
Yeah.
That's why
she should have diplomat.
Send the distress signal to say we want to join the Federation. Like,
yeah, if Locutus can have it, then she can have it.
Mm-hmm. Stars
not
is
a diplomat.
Silent.
Stars, please don't be all ranted. You've had some classic rant moments today. So...
I'm ranted out. I have nothing more to say about this mega. The sooner it's over and done with, the better, and I can start working on my next mega.
5 collections. 5 collections.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, Gerald. She should be a variant of the Ball Queen as well, because technically as a hybrid. She is Jurati and she is the Ball Queen, isn't she?
Don't try and apply logic.
Well, no, literally she is. There's no denying
it.
I'm saying you're logical. I'm not saying that WRG's trading is. That's always been ropey.
I mean, it's a veteran players are going to love this card for all the collections and the traits and pick her up from an event. So.
Borg is especially a tricky collection. There's a lot of bad cards in there.
There's a lot of bad 7s.
Number 2 command base too, which for years that skill didn't move at all for purples. Like I think Tyrion Possessed Kess is still on there from 2018 at the top. It's like they don't power creep that very much. So you may get some medium-term use out of her just as a command base if you're a newer player.
Medium term. I like it.
Well, I don't want to oversell her. You know, she has a string of traits for most of us.
When
but...
we have all these disappointing golds we could get as well.
She'll be into the freezer.
Okay. I think it's time for us to wrap up this 10-minute stream, thanks to my cat. Thank you, Boota, for joining us this week. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You've been an absolute joy, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Any shout-outs or mentions or final words you would like from yourself? This is your chance. This is your audience.
I'd just like to thank you guys for letting me on the show, and especially, I don't know how much you did this idol, but I'm sure Stars did a good job taking care of Cranky when you guys were in London, so I appreciate that.
We're touching them in the bed there.
I think you were a little occupied. Yeah, I've seen the video.
He got me back to my hotel room safely, so I was very happy with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Cranky's a good lad.
Yeah, no, he's a great fleet admiral. I'm glad he decided to come back. So, other than that, I mean, if anybody needs help with fleet boss battles, you can check out. I put up a bunch of YouTube videos of just various builds and stuff. Yes.
You have your own YouTube channel.
If anybody
Let me find
needs...
it so I can put it in chat. 1 second, I do have.
Yeah, link that for us.
I will do that. I think I'm
He's
following
doing it.
I'll do it. You carry on talking for a minute. While I do that.
Yeah. If anybody needs help, with that, I've helped several people in our fleet. Feel free to send me a PM on Discord, and I don't mind spending 10-15 minutes trying to get people straightened out on that stuff.
There you go.
Any other questions on anything else in the game? Feel free, ranking in events or anything like that. Yeah. Awesome. I know other people helped me when I was trying to figure out how to get rank 1, so I am more than happy to pass that along to the next person.
We're all nice people eventually. Yes. Some of us anyway.
Yeah. You do eventually. Some of us nicer than others, idol.
On that note, fuck you all, because I'm not here next week. Yeah, I'm on holiday next week.
Related to what just happened.
There will not be a show next week, as I am going to be away. But if you talk to these guys nicely, they might do something on the channel that's fun. Maybe. Lots of hand waving. Yeah.
We have a suggestion box and a complaint box, and you lift the lid, and it's just a garbage can underneath.
There's a garbage can, and underneath the garbage can is a shredder. Yeah. Underneath the shredder is an incinerator.
I would say get Mrs. Idol to take over, but she'll be on vacation with
She
you.
will be with me.
Presumably.
Well, yes. Yeah, who knows? No, all the family's going away, so we're going to have a bit of fun time up north in York. But yes, we'll be away. But we will be coming back the week after with Timelines Talks yet again. And I think, let me check the Discord. I have reopened Discord. Hang on a minute. After that, yeah, we've got Timelines Talks. We've got the Star Trek show. We're planning some more Star Trek. We're going to do Broken Bow, the pilot episode of Enterprise with racing liners, very soon as well when I come back. So look out for that one.
Well, Vulcans may or may not get knocked on their ass.
It's a
We're not sure.
And this episode will now be delayed going on YouTube because I've got to edit 2 parts together now, thanks to my fucking cat. Wonderful. Guys, from the hosts and myself, we will see you soon. Ta-ra!